Not even death can save you from the dark. You truly have become trapped within the mists.
It still says unassigned, but it's fine. Everything's okay. It's all gonna be okay now. It's all gonna be alright. Okay. So it's been a while since we've played D&D.
Been a while.
It's been it's been a long time. At least a couple months, if not longer than that. I think maybe 3 or 4. I don't know. It's been a long time. I lose track of time very easily. So I'm assuming everyone remembers the majority of what happened last time, but maybe some of the details got lost in the time since we last played.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were waiting for an answer.
Yeah? Wow. Okay.
It was a very pregnant pause, so I was like, yeah.
I had to think about how I wanted to start.
My bad.
And now I have to think about it again. You initially started this adventure not in this realm you are trapped in now. You had heard dangers lied in wait for travelers on the road near Daggerford. Some stories of werewolves, whatever it was. You and your band had grouped together and sought out this danger for good, for the sake of good. Unbeknownst to you, these creatures that you had tracked had come from a realm outside your own, and one you had become trapped in. When fog and mist had taken over your party and drawn you into this land, 2 separate parties as you had each gone your own way to find your way to this place. But irregardless, fate had brought you back together, as your parties found themselves on the same road. And since then, you have all followed that same road together. That road has been difficult. There's been defeats and victories along the way. Prizes have been won, glittering prizes that you still carry. Strength has been earned and warranted. But along the way, tragedy has also struck. Your party is now 2 less than you started. You lost Kor along the road. And now Isla fell at the hands of Strahd von Zarovich, the dread lord of this realm you are trapped in. I was trying to get stuck or trapped out. Your victory on top of the hill against the hags and Strahd himself seems hollow, as you had to make a choice between the corpse of Isla or the Sunblade held by Calliope, whose influence is turning Calliope to something else. A hot fire burns from the brand she carries, and she had to make the choice after a struggle took place over the very possession of the sword. And in that moment, Isla had stepped forward in the guise of Irina with a javelin pierced through her stomach. And Strahd, in this moment, forgot about the Sunblade and the struggle for it, and instead strode to what he believed to be Irina. Dying in his arms, he took her, lifted her up, and in this guise, Isla was bitten and killed. What followed was the exchange, where he offered her body back in return for the sword. But you knew what that meant. That meant losing the one strength you had in this valley against the darkness you had forever had encroaching on your path thus far. A strength that finally had won the day, and maybe given a little bit of hope to the people who were trapped here. But in that moment, you had to make that choice, and you chose to keep that hope. And so Strahd, on the back of his nightmare, lifted up into the air and into the mists and disappeared with Isla's body, leaving the party behind on the hill, where a momentary shred of sunlight broke through the overcast clouds above and cast down a golden warm light on the hilltop, where once the tree of the dead had been planted, a part, perhaps the very soul, of one of the Fey queens or creatures who rule over this valley, or at least perhaps once did. Now usurped by the Dark Lord, they hang on to the very fringes of this realm. That Fey spirit now is held within that crystal. A bit of amber roughly cut and wrapped in living roots. One of two that your twig, your companion, carries in his pouches. One dancing with the life of the spirits and the tree itself, and the other inert, almost looking dead in comparison. Your party, sort of gathering in a quiet moment of tragedy, helped the paladin, Richard, gather the bones of Arrogance, the fallen dragon, which had lain strewn about the battlefield, gathered and put on the back of your pack horse. But now, you have a choice. You can head back through the forests, where upon the edge of the forest you see that large bear, which seems to have been tracking you through the woods on your journey here, maybe even guiding you and keeping you safe. She waits now on the edge of the woods, and any other direction seems to be shrouded in that huge wall of mist that hangs like a curtain on the edge of this realm. Far to the west you see it. To the south, not quite, but mists and thick forest hang in that direction. Back to the east you see the mountain Baratuk, or the Mount Gakis, standing up through the fog, but just barely you see its silhouette, and beneath it, valleys lost in the mist. So it's up to your party, the 6 of you that remain. What do? You have the bones of Arrogance. Isla is lost. The battle upon the hill, for now, has been won. Whatever beast, whatever creature exists within Barovia that seems to control portions of death, the creature Vampira, her tentacles like veins run through the land like it's her body itself, turned to ash when you had called upon the sun. The hill now seems almost inert, like a quiet grave in comparison to the ritual that you had come upon. And now even the druids who had basked in the sunlight begin to disperse back into the woods as the sunlight disappears back behind the overcast clouds. Begins to trickle rain as the storm had ceased prior, and now just turns into like a haze and a mist. And that's where we're at. Last time, we kind of went into the woods a little bit, and Twig cast Speak with Animal. But I figured I would retcon that a small bit and put you guys back on top of the hill, because I feel like I pushed you into the woods last time without asking for like a party decision. So, what would you guys like to do?
So, we're all sorry, kind of take stock. The rest of the group, I assume we're all together.
Are you all at the top of the hill?
I believe so. Vic should still be there.
I definitely was stomping my way towards
Okay.
potentially town.
So you're
Yeah,
heading back
that's a-
north towards the woods that you guys came from? Because you remember you traveled through that thick old growth, and the only way you found your way here was because the will-o-wisps guided your way through the branches.
Yeah.
So
I just kind of want to take a minute and address the group as a whole. Sorry, hold on one sec.
yeah.
Sunny sits off to the side, a bit distant from the group, watching people wander off in their other directions. And if you're listening closely, you can hear that he's still sobbing and mumbling, "It's my fault, Isla, my truest friend. I did this. I did this." And he hasn't gotten up yet. He hasn't mustered the strength.
Um, kind of
I'd say
realizing
within earshot, though.
kind of realizing that we're all trying to take stock of the party and realize that they've all been kind of wounded in this this long exchange with Strahd. And I say, if we could just have a moment of time, I can get us at least a little more in shape before we move onward. You can see my hair is strewn apart and the braids have come undone.
Using your guys'
There's
tokens.
blood and scratches, whatnot, kind of,
There you are.
sorry, like kind of all over, like peppering my face. And I would like to spend just 10 quick minutes while we're all gathered to cast Prayer of Healing at 3rd level.
Okay. And that does how much healing for you guys?
So
17.
that was
Not
low,
bad.
but yeah. Everyone gets 30 feet, gets 17 HP.
Anyone who wants to be that close obviously can be.
Yes.
Yeah. Everyone should have control of their tokens if you would like to move. This is mostly theater of the mind, so. You should be all able to add health to your... Yeah.
Okay.
I was able to add, but I have a health bar on my character.
Yes, I put that on there.
Well, it doesn't reflect full health now.
So if you click on your character token, and then there should be a little circle that's red, you can add or subtract HP to that.
There you go.
Oh, okay.
Except I've added too much because your max is 60. There we go. Boom.
And then after the 10 minutes is up, and I've kind of used the last of the sunlight, the dying sunlight, to fuel the healing spell, I stand somberly and look to Richard. That was a brave fight that you had. You stood toe to toe with the one they call the devil himself. That was so brave. And you tried so hard for Isla. I kind of place one hand upon the armor. Thank you, Richard.
Belandra. We might be asked to do this again.
And I unclasp, put my hand to my waist, and I unclasp the belt of giant strength, belt of ogre strength that I had been given by Richard. And I kind of feel its energy fade. Here. You told me when you gave me this that I was supposed to use it. Use it to save us, or use it to help us. And I failed. And I think you could use it. And I kind of drape it over his arm. I'll be okay.
It stays there on my shoulder for a moment. And Richard just straightens out. And he takes it And he says, I'll keep it for now. When its strength calls to you, you can reach for it.
I hope.
And he puts it up.
Yeah, right. Richard, you are now wearing the belt of Ogre's Might. It will take a little while for the belt to adjust to you. You can kind of, it's almost like putting on, like a bit of clothing someone else was wearing, like a scarf someone else was wearing, and like their warmth and the scent of them is like still on it. Except there's like a sense of like that, almost in an aura way. Where it's like you can feel like the warmth of Talandra still in the belt as it's adjusting to you. It will take an hour for the belt to attune to you. But once it does, your strength will leap to 19. All right.
Those with a keen sense of smell would smell a familiar scent coming through there. Herbal, pleasant though, not dirty. And if you look over, Sonny has managed to roll one of his herbal cigarettes and light it. He has managed to stop crying, but it doesn't seem to have calmed his nerves, as you can visibly see his hands shaking and his head still down. His hat conveniently shielding the lit cigarette from the rain.
Nice. +1.
Gazing around to the rest of the party. Where should we go? I have no idea even where our next step is. We're so lost, even after gaining so much.
There we go.
Twig, standing there for a moment listening to Talandra, he pats the portion of his guard where he's keeping safe the 2 Druidic Stones, and sort of putting out a stiff upper lip, knowing that his business here is concluded and that he seems to have possibly found his role in whatever is happening here, whatever he's been called to do. He walks over to Richard and he gives him a gentle tap on his armor with the blunt end of his spear, as if to say, and looks at the remains of Argynvost, as Swig remembers that he had told Richard that once his business was concluded, that he would aid his friend in his quest.
Now, Richard, I do have to be a little realistic. A dragon is massive, including the framework of their bones. You will be able to take the majority of its skull, if not the whole thing intact, but you're pretty sure that's about all your horse can carry. You might be able to return with a large cart.
It was originally it was going to be a sled.
Yeah, even with a sled, it would need to be.
And it would.
He is from the size of his bones. You're not an expert on dragons by any means. It would be very difficult to be. Dragons are powerful beings and generally rare, even on Faerun. You could tell that he was a very large dragon, and dragons based on size. The larger they are, usually the older they are. He must have been very powerful and very old, for this dragon is, at least from the tip of his tail, at least from the intactness of the skeleton. It would take like 3 trips with your current wagon to like exhume, and it would take a train of wagons, basically.
Yeah.
He's a very large creature.
Okay.
Yeah. It would be like transporting like the bones of like a small brontosaurus.
Well, we could put the rest of the bones to rest, and then just take the skull.
Or we can just lay it to rest here.
It's true. Seems like this might have been a burial ground initially that was disturbed.
We could just convert it.
I think it is worth you taking a small piece, Richard.
All right, that's fair.
Perhaps a fang.
Thinking so, or a claw.
Yeah.
Claw. A claw seems appropriate.
pick up the dew claw, which is from the hind leg.
Okay. Okay.
It's definitely one of the stronger ones. Either that, thinking index. What
You
would be cooler?
find an intact claw, and
Okay.
you're fairly certain it is. The reason it's intact is because it was one of those frontal power claws used to rake and tear.
Yeah.
The knuckle, where it's attached, looks like almost like a flat warhammer's head, and then it curves forward like a bird of prey's talon, and comes to a sharp point. It's incredibly hard and dense, and it's this like dark chitinous material, but it seems to have flecks of like almost like blued marbled through it. It is the claw of a silver dragon. It almost seems
that.
to still have a charge to it as you touch it. It's cold. Not that Richard feels cold.
That's what I collect. The best of the claws, it seems, the quality.
Right.
That would make a fine charm for your weapon, Richard.
Indeed, it would.
The claw
then I would
itself is huge. Not like huge, but like it's like the head of a warhammer size.
How long would it take to bury the bones?
Yeah, I would like to spend whatever time that takes with Richard properly by the I'd like, if I need to roll for that, by the rites of his church, bury the bones, take the time that's needed and do all the proper rituals and everything. Pretty sure I have all the materials.
Okay. It will take some number of hours because there are a lot of bones. It's very large. You will either need to bury it with dirt or use the cairn stones around you that are part of the circle to sort of like bury the bones.
Yeah.
But it would take.
Okay.
It's becoming like mid-evening. You would have to work into night at the very least to bury all the bones.
Well, I bring the situation up to the rest of the group.
It was split tasks. Somebody make camp. It seems like we're going to stay the night. If we decide this.
Are we eager to move on, friends?
At this point, you go ahead, Jillian.
I believe we should honor their bones first before we move on. We should make camp while the rest lay this beast to rest.
At this point, you see that I've made my way over to Twig, who I'm grasping to for some comfort or some sort of companionship in this time, just sort of hanging out near him. And overhearing this conversation, Sunny speaks up as well and says, "At least we can honor some dead." And he tries to walk that direction, see if he can help.
You lend your aid to burying the bones of Arrogance, which, thank goodness, are already half buried in the ground, so it's more a series of like gathering the stones necessary to help build the cairn pile around the remainders of Arrogance.
I would like to, with Richard, just seal the area in prayers and all the necessary kind of wards
Okay.
that would come with a funeral of this magnitude.
Yep. You begin to, I don't know, can you consecrate yet? Is that something you can do?
I don't, if I can, I don't have it prepared.
Okay.
Yes,
No.
so I was just saying more of
Yeah.
just holy water, candles, whatever, what are those things called? With the paper that you would write on in Japanese.
Prayers.
Oh, I'm not sure. That's like some Shintoism. I don't know much about
Yeah.
that.
There's talismans.
Oh, okay.
That's what it's
Okay.
called. Yeah,
Okay.
Talismans.
Oh,
Whatever's needed,
like
but-
the prayer charms from like
yeah.
40K or whatever those are called.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like a way to somehow ward the grave to be disturbed
Okay,
again. Because
I
these
see what
bones are
you're
still powerful. So unless we destroy them,
Yeah.
they can be used again.
Mhm. Okay. So, those of you who wish to help bury Argynvost, lend your aid. Is there anything you guys would like to do while this is happening? Anyone? Because it will take... This is probably going to take, with everyone's help, or at least with the number of people you have, at least 6 hours. It's about 3 o'clock in the afternoon right now.
Well, Calliope's regimen upbringing army days are coming back, and I will start promptly setting up everyone's tents and making camp.
Okay. A camp is...
Sunny is very lazily assisting. Can't really muster the strength to put in real energy, kind of just moving one little thing at a time. But I would like to maintain a prestidigitation to make it feel less oppressively rainy. Perhaps just some warmth and dryness to our clothes and the ground would go a long way. So I'll focus on that.
Okay. Periodically, you just dry people's clothes for them. That's about all.
Sunny,
Go
as you
ahead.
approach me, I kind of reach into my pouch. Here, instead of helping us with this, could you do me a favor? And I hand you a handful of this, like, these kind of like flat, waxy looking leaves. These leaves make a really excellent tea. Do you think you could make a few glasses for us, or at least a pot? They won't go far, but I'm sure you have something of your own you can add.
I'll keep it. I'll keep it non-intoxicating. Sunny reaches out gracefully. Thank you, Delandra, my child. I would be happy to prepare some herbal brews for us to enjoy.
Herbal brews, bruh.
Some herbal brews,
What am I?
bruh.
Fucking, I'm Uncle Iroh now.
Dude, yeah, hell yeah. I love Uncle Ira.
And then, yeah, I'd like to, so
Okay.
we will continue to work.
Raziel, the Shadow Hound Mastiff that Severnus sent through the blood portal is constantly hounding at your heels, sniffing at you, and seems most comfortable in your presence. Whenever you stop, it seems to sit next to you and heel. Whenever you move, it seems to follow you around. Although you do notice it breaks away from you from time to time to go sit by Sunny when he seems to begin to brood. Though the smell of the herbal intoxicant sort of sets his... and he just wanders back over to Raziel and sits and waits. And he just sits there amongst the shadows with Raziel. Or follows him as he does anything else. And as the evening grows later, your body's weary from battle, now even more weary from the shifting and moving of stones to bury the vast body and remains of Argynvost. The night has grown late, and your camp has been set by your camp lead, Calliope. I'm assuming you've built a nice fire as well.
It's damp and smoky. It's warm.
I know that you've been tending to your wood and making sure that it's well kept. That's something that you always mentioned before. I'm not playing. I'm just saying this is something that I know your character takes care of, as they make sure that they have supplies. Yeah. So, as wet as they are, you have logs set out next to your lit fire, drying. You have things prepared. You have many of the sleeping quarters lifted as best you can off the wet, sodden ground. While they were burying, you did your best to prepare some place for people to rest and do their best to stay dry.
You'll see, in order to expedite the burial process, Twig has assumed the form of that great ape again, much like when we were trying to clear a path over the bridge.
Okay.
And you can see for 2 hours a large ape focusedly laboring on building these cairns, the remains of the dragon.
Once we have kind of completed our task and the rituals and prayers have been said, I'd like to crawl into my tent, however wet and damp I am.
As you're heading back towards the camp, Talandra and whoever else might be finishing up, you smell, exaggerated through prestidigitation, a beautiful herbal tea, a beautiful herbal scent coming over you. Not the smoke, though. This is from the tea, and you can tell something sort of nutty and floral, like a green tea. and Sunny beckons with a big friendly wave, seemingly in higher spirits now. Come sit and have a cup of tea before we lay down.
Oh, I'd almost forgotten. I'm exhausted. And I kind of move towards Sunny and the fire.
Big monkey walks over and grabs a cup.
Are you still in monkey form, or are you just used to it?
As he wanders over and begins to sip on it, he realizes that monkey lips are non-conducive to sipping out of a cup, and then resumes his regular twig form.
Oh,
As I'm handing out the tea to everyone, I let out a sigh. Well, friends, what do we do now? We've got to find her. We've got to bring her back. Where do we go from here?
Was ready to march back to the woods the moment the battle was over. What are you up to, Raziel? You've been quiet this whole time.
I've been quietly helping build the Cairn Stones.
Okay.
I have now come over and sat down and petting this dog. Gently, methodically. I've been thinking. And kind of hearing your question, Azael says, it seems this is more than just a game of dragon chess. We are players, all in it. Got a couple moves, do we not? As much as I have questions that must have answers, there are other things here, potentially, that can help us in our fight. So indeed, where do we move? We could go back to town. We know that woman is feigning either as something, or at least has answers, does she not?
I perk up at that. I agree. It seems Irina has been keeping information from us that has led to the disappearance of one of our compatriots and the death of one of our dear friends. I think we should return to Vallaki, find Irina and question her. Find out what she knows, truly knows, about Strahd. As far as Isla, and I kind of look down between my knees, without her body, it would take a healer of incredible power to return her to life. And even then, we don't know what condition Strahd holds her soul. I say it's best we bury Isla here on this hill with Argynvost. And like, there's a crack in my voice when I say that, and tears begin to stream.
Sunny now also crying, but not tears of sadness, tears of anger. No, we cannot do that. We cannot just let her go. I can figure it out. I can learn. I can go. I know people that at the university, they can save her. We can save her. I know. And his voice trails off.
You know,
You did say there was a chance.
there's always a chance. There are holy spells of incredible power that can bring the dead back to life, regardless of the state of their body, but Strahd has a mastery over the soul that we don't understand. It might not be so simple. I don't want to let her go, but it pains me more to think about her being tormented. I'd rather just bury her here and let her go. I don't want to think about her in his clutches anymore. So we go to Vallaki and figure out what there is left to figure out.
That is but one move, though, my dear. There is another. We can go where Richard has been called.
Is this true?
I see two choices. The others may be of consideration. potentially checking out those points on the maps. That Isla, who we will find, and Calliope saw. Those are choices as well. I feel, he clutches his right hand that is covered in black feathers, gleaming. Justice will have answers. But I cannot sit here and be emotional and a fool to not understand. Perhaps there is help yet, that we can get to change the tide. Although it hurts me, I do not want to wring that woman's neck.
I agree with Raziel. I believe her body may not be here, but I refuse to bury her soul in this place. Her spirit will remain with me, with us, until we can turn the tide of this battle, and we may not bring her back today, but one day I vow to revive her. Richard, you know I will follow you to the ends of the earth. You know you are my lord and my liege. I am with you to the end. I've cast my vote.
Raziel nods and agrees. Argynvost may have not only answers, but could be a key to his weakness. Something to exploit. We are not equal players in this game of Dragon Check. He holds all the cards, all the plays, and he may expect every single one of them. But we are here for a reason. Let us not see if we can't seek our own armies.
Well then, Calliope, I don't object to seeking the aid of any god's help here. What about you?
We must not lose sight of Strahd. We will come back for Isla, but gaining some help would probably be wise. But this is just a side quest. We will not forget Isla. Strahd will pay.
At the mention of Strahd, you can feel the hilt of the Sunblade, not visibly, but almost vibrating. God damn it. Against in the hilt that you have tucked into your belt is just heating up against the side of you, and you can just feel its wrath, its focus on Strahd.
My sword arm is just lightly on the pommel, but as I talk, you see that my knuckles get wider and wider as you see my intent.
Raziel grins at this. We will. We will.
Then, I guess we're putting our fate in the hands of your god, Richard. I couldn't
Fate?
think of anyone I trust more.
I don't think there is fate in this. It is a calling. Irina will still be in town. It seems. Like I said earlier, like my brother was saying, there is things happening there. A coup, perhaps? A changing of governmental tides? Unclear.
What is happening is that the protection is failing. And I kind of hold out the symbol, the holy symbol of Ravenkind. We weren't able to find the bones, but maybe somehow this will help restore the protection to the town. It could get us the favor we need. But first, I guess, the Church of Argynvost, or where exactly it is that we are heading.
It is on the way back to town.
Well, Sonny chimes in. Can't exactly show my face around there for a while, I feel. Perhaps you two want to go back to town, and the rest of us seek Richard's, what's the word I'm looking for? Patron's aid.
No, it is not a smart move to split up. Not now. Not after losing another one of us.
Like a bad
Our-
90s horror movie.
Our party dwindles now. No, we stick together. We will visit wherever the church of Richard's patron, wherever holy ground, and then we'll find. And she kind of grits her teeth. We'll find Irina.
Well, the bit of cloth that had been stretched across over the fire now hangs heavy with the rain and is no longer doing a great job of keeping us dry. And Sonny makes one of those gestures like "Welp," puts his hand on his knee, and gets up to head off to sleep. And I think I'll get some rest.
I will do the same. I'm gonna down the rest of my tea and head into my tent, wet and soggy.
All right. Who else retires to bed for now? It's about 10 o'clock at night. If you all rest now, you can get started on your journey about 6 in the morning.
It is bedtime for Twig.
Okay.
Who's keeping watch? Are we doing a rotation?
I'm staying up for at least 2 hours. I sit by the fire, although dwindling, and I pet this dog. It's a
Wait.
good poochie.
The dog is pet.
Well, being an elf, I don't actually need to sleep, so I guess I'll just kind of relax and somewhere near the fire as well. And I can keep an eye out as well with Raz.
You do need your 4 hours of trance, but you are right. You only need to do yeah, just a little bit.
I'll just be heavily relaxed for the next 4 hours.
Okay.
Light another one of those herbal cigarettes.
Basically, you're not aware of anything beyond the firelight in front of you. So as far as being on watch in trance,
I can't be.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Yeah. But you can be stirred very easily. Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Whereas if you want to stay out here with Sunny until he's done, you can call me for next watch if he needs more time, if you only need the 2 hours.
Azael nods, absentmindedly staring into the fire. I'm petting this dog. It's almost like a therapeutic at this point.
The dog does look like its image, by the way. Its maw is just gnarled teeth. It has strange shadows coming off of its fur is solft, but in this way that it doesn't feel like fur. It feels like you're stroking. God damn it! It feels like you are petting, just solid mass. It's coalesced shadows into a dense muscled creature.
Yes.
Yeah. It seems to maybe enjoy the petting. It's very stoic, aside from the almost alligator purrs that come from inside of it, where it's rattling more than purring or sounding like a dog. And it's keeping its glinting red eyes looking out over the stones that remain, and then briefly to the fire, and then it looks back out into the night. It seems to be keeping watch with you. All right.
This dog.
I'm gonna have let's see. Let me see. What is your passive perception there, Raziel?
Passive perception 11.
Okay. And what are you doing, Richard? Are you going to sleep?
Richard, exhausted.
Yeah.
If you need him, he'll keep watch, but he's not offering.
Yeah.
And he finishes his tea and kind of waddling a little back and forth, maybe a little bit, and kind of looks at Raz, smiles a little bit, and then falls backwards. It's just his cup falls out of his hand.
Your perhaps last thought before sleep takes you is, and he was just playing with me. All right.
Raziel smirks, gives a little short. He just Richard.
Let's see.
He passes out in a tent in a bedroll, right? Not straight smack dab in the mud.
No, he was sitting
I
on
like
his-
that.
No, he said he
Do it
was
again.
Sorry. To be specific, he was sitting on his cot drinking his tea.
Yeah.
Looking out of his tent.
He just kind of like flopped backwards and like soldier sleep.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sleep wherever. Yeah. Okay. And that leaves Raziel. Raziel, for the first hour, all that you hear or see is the rain and the fog and the fire, the smoke slowly curling and crackling as the light drizzle finds its way to the wood and wets it. But as you keep your eyes out on the rocks past the small dim light of your campsite, you see shapes moving about the stones. Not a lot, and not often. But you see the top of a head peering over the rim of stones, seeming to gaze at your campsite. And it's difficult to make out exactly what it is, but you're certain it's humanoid. It may be some of the druids coming to check on you, or it may be someone, perhaps, waiting to slip into camp and cut your throats. You do see movement on the rocks, but what their intent is, you're not certain. About halfway into the second hour, you stop seeing the shapes on the rocks. At least for now. Unless, of course, you got up and investigated immediately.
No. I think I would have taken that moment to almost like my dog go into the shadows, especially if it's dim light right now.
Yes, yeah. I'm
Yeah,
imagining you're sitting
Go invisible.
far enough away from the fire where you're sitting in the dim enough light to do that. It's strange, but you watch as the shadow creature mimics you and seems to blur and blend into the dark, becoming invisible alongside you.
I would definitely stare and watch, but if it does seem to go away,
An hour and a
I
half
will
into your
slip
watch,
into my tent.
you haven't seen it for about half an hour or so.
Okay. I'll like keep watch over that area for the last half hour. And then I will get my minimum of 6 hours and tap Sunny.
Okay. So has
Like-
that been 4 hours that have passed?
No, it's only
No.
been
It's just
2.
been 2.
Okay.
Sunny's
You would
watch
have
is
to-
Sorry, I don't-
potentially.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm full on my spell slots. I don't need a
Well,
long rest.
I tap you out of your trance and I go. And I kind of let you know that there's something that I've seen over there. It's not been there for a little bit, but you don't have to wake up right now. You can get another 2 hours, but when your trance is over, wake up, Calliope.
Sunny, all right, I nod my head, and it seems as though I go back to sleep. However, once I've noticed you're gone, I do open my eyes, and I will go ahead and do a couple of things. I will use Minor Illusion to create an illusion of Richard getting up and walking over and sitting at the fire next to me so that onlookers would see an image of Richard sitting next to Sunny at the fire. Also, since I probably already still had this from before, but it's been so long, we'll just say everything's reset. So I'll also begin a ritual cast of Sunny's Herbal Companion to have him out as well soon. And I will sit by the fire and roll up one of my signature herbal cigarettes, and I will keep watch because Sunny's survival instinct will not allow him to sleep, knowing that there's something out there. So he is awake now.
Okay.
And then I'll just, I'll keep watching. Depending on what happens, I don't plan on waking anybody else. I can keep watch the rest of the night, unless, of course, something happens that need help.
Okay. It was about
My
midnight.
armor at attention as well.
Is your armor at attention?
Yeah. Does it sleep or?
You would have had to order it to attention before you went to sleepy.
Probably
As far as I know, you're sleeping in it.
So creepy.
I mean, what would you like to have done before? I mean, you know.
I think sleepily he probably would have had it just like come apart and like rest next to you.
Okay.
So it's not standing watch, quote unquote.
Okay.
So I think that's probably
Whatever you would like. If you wanted to go on guard or rest, whichever. Okay. It's resting next to Richard.
Yeah.
Very good. So Richard is resting. Illusionary Richard is up with Sunny, sitting next to the fire. Sunny is half trance, half awake. He's awake. The rest of the camp is sleeping as soundly as they can. Sunny, roll me a perception check. I'm not going to go with a passive for you.
Nice.
Ooh, nice. 21. Oh, this music's okay. That's not what I meant. For the first hour, things are peaceful as they can be, at least within Barovia. It's almost too silent. There's no night birds. There's no hooting of owls. It's just the slow falling of rain and the cracking of the fire as you feed it a new log. It's about an hour in. 1 o'clock or so in the morning. And this is not close. It's something distant. Distant and far out into the old-growth woods. You hear a scream. Not humanoid. Monstrous. Like a bellow that carries out over the forest. And whatever makes that noise sends a chill through your blood. It's long and drawn out. About 10 seconds worth of just this echoing bellow. And then it grows quiet again.
Well, I am no stranger to being deep in the woods alone at night. And sounds like this, although I haven't heard that exact type of guttural screech in my homeland, it doesn't stir Sunny all that much. He spent so many nights out there that he's heard all kinds of crazy howls coming from the woods. His elf ears do perk up, and of course I've got night vision for 60 feet,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm keen looking around me, and I'm just ready. I'm just ready to see if I hear any footsteps or anything that seems like it's coming closer, and if it does, I will do something else. But right now I'm just listening
Okay.
and looking.
Time passes.
Scream to wake everyone.
No one else heard the scream. It was just Sunny.
Oh.
Yeah. It's distant. That's what I said. It's way out into the woods. It's not close by. It's like a big, loud scream that you heard echoing from deep in the woods. Like, potentially miles away. It's such a huge, bellowing scream, you're not certain.
Can I tell, like, what cardinal direction it's coming from?
Absolutely.
So for in the morning? Yeah.
It's from the woods
where
you
is it?
guys came from. It's to the north, maybe to the east.
Cool.
Something wandering in that old growth. Some time passes, and you too see some of the shapes moving about the stones. Small humanoid figures, almost crawling as they pass over the tops of the stones, keeping very, very low to just look at your party, just camped upon the hill. Though many of the shapes just disappear back behind the stones as quickly as they revealed themselves. And then they too are no longer seen for some time. It's about 2 or so in the morning, and you know it's fair if you would like to switch the guard.
Sunny will let the others rest, and he will just sit around the fire.
All right.
Although I want to do something now. Actually,
Yeah.
let's do something else.
Totally.
Let's change my illusion here.
Okay.
I
Double.
want to. Yeah. So, and I'm gonna just use minor illusion. We'll get rid of the Richard thing. Maybe we'll make it look like he walked back to his tent.
Yeah.
And then I will sort of like hide a little bit, make sure no one's like watching me while I do this, so they don't see me like transform. But I'll just make it look like Sunny is another log sitting around the fire. Like a big one, obviously, like one that you would sit on, because I can't make myself physically smaller than I am. But I want to make it look like the camp is deserted here, and see. But I'm still there, obviously.
Yeah,
I want to see if these creatures, gain the confidence to come into camp when they think it's empty.
Okay. So Sunny turns himself into a piece of firewood, or a log,
An honorable log.
an unassuming piece of camp material.
This is just how Sonny used to go to sleep in the woods throughout his whole life.
I mean,
Mimic
that's
veil.
a great idea, to be honest. Mimic veil, yes.
He never made a camp.
Yeah.
Or anything. He would just like sit down, turn into a log for the night.
Oh.
Hibernate. Like, why is that log smoking a joint?
That log's on fire. Put it out.
The mystery of the burning bush revealed.
Oh my
boy.
goodness. That's funny. All right. Well, some time passes as Sunny has his log. And Sunny, with his endless patience, begins to hear muffled, quiet, wet footsteps through the mud, as someone does seem to be approaching the camp. What do you do?
I just listen and watch and see what they're gonna do. If see what it seems. Yeah, I'm just gonna see what they're gonna do for now.
Okay. You hear them grow quieter, slower, seeming to tense themselves as they grow closer to the back of the tent that Twig is sleeping inside of.
All right, that is the moment at which Sunny would disengage his illusion and pop out. Like, haha! No, but he would disengage his illusion, and he would stand tall in a loud voice so that everyone in camp could hear. And as he's doing this, actually, I'm making my way towards the being, and I say, who is it? Not too aggressive yet. Just who is it? And I'm right up next to the creature.
Without a word, and hearing you and your approach, you see it's a small woman, and she was about to open up Twig's tent flaps and step inside. She sees you and turns on her heel, not even a moment to turn or answer your question, and she looks like she's about to bolt.
And I cast Hypnotic Pattern.
Okay. What's the DC on that?
Let me pull it up.
Okay.
Wisdom 13.
Wisdom 13. All right. Let me do a roll. Wisdom saving throw. All right. They got a 12. Nice. You watch as the woman's face glazes over, as the lights begin to dance in the sky over your camp, and she is forced to turn and gaze, lost and entranced.
All right. At this point, I make sure to wake up Twig, and you see anybody who would have heard me. I'm imagining probably people starting to open eyes. You would see from inside your tents, or if you've already opened it, glow something like the northern lights in the sky. You wouldn't have heard me cast this spell, but it is a familiar colors that you've seen me use before. At this point, if you come outside, you would not be affected by the hypnotic pattern, but you would still see it floating in the sky, beautiful colors weaving all around in the night. And then one small woman, dazed, standing there, mouth somewhat agape, and angry Sunny looking her in the face.
As you come inside the tent to wake up Twig, you'll see that he's already actually sitting up and wide awake, as he also finished his trance a small while ago, and was actually sitting on his cot as the young small woman was about to enter his tent. And you see this kind of confused and incredulous look on his face as he begins to step outside and take in the scene.
Sonny, as you were waking everyone up, you hear a blood-curdling scream as from the shadows leaps this beast of a dog and seems to latch onto the woman. It's biting and chewing on her shoulder and seems to be looking for a bit of her neck to sink its teeth into. The woman is lost from the trance, and she begins to scream as the dog savages her.
Is that our dog or a dog we've never seen before?
That is the shadow dog that leapt from its invisibility.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
So
it's a
not
guard dog.
Raz's
It's
dog.
biting the thing.
It is my.
Yeah.
It is Raz's dog.
If
Yeah.
I'm awake, I'm like, I kind of try to command the dog, like, to hold. I don't know how to do that thing.
It holds her shoulder in its big mouth and looks over to you almost like a dog pinning a caught prey. It's waiting for your command.
I would run over and go, easy, easy.
It's doing that same rumbling growl it was doing before when you were petting it. It seems very happy with itself, but it lets go of the scout and sits back on its hind legs.
I would pet the dog and then wait for Twig.
Seems we have this woman, mind and body. Should we interrogate her?
The woman looks up at
Well-
Sunny Raziel incredulously, like holding her wounded shoulder.
Talandra finally appears out of her tent, still in her like regular garb, sopping wet. What is going on? What have we found? And I see this woman bleeding on the ground, and this dog's bloody maw. What is going on? Who is this woman? I kind of reach down on the ground. I begin to I kind of staunch the bleeding with my
Don't touch me,
my hands.
she says.
Shut up!
Through clenched teeth, she grabs a bone knife from her waist and tries to brandish it in her good arm. The Fey hearts do not belong to you, outsiders.
What was it that doesn't belong to us?
The Fey hearts. You have the heart of a lady. It is not yours.
Whose is it?
I speak to her in Fey and ask her who she represents.
She looks confused at you. She doesn't seem to speak Sylvan.
Sylvan, yeah, not Fey. Sylvan is the language.
I place kind of this hand pattern with a thumb and two fingers, and I place my hand on her forehead, and I just go shh. And I close my eyes and I cast Calm Emotions.
Does that have a save?
Yes, it is a DC 15 Charisma.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
Yes.
let's roll that. She just made the save.
All right.
You feel a stubbornness as you try, not with a sense of malice, but a sense of, hey, calm down. And it's like trying to calm down a temperamental child. She almost scoffs at your touch and weakly swings the bone knife towards your hand, but almost in a vain attempt to cut at you. Do not touch me.
Calm down, please. I just...
Move that hand again. And you can
Raziel, please. None of this. Let's just relax. Now, you're obviously wounded. Now, just stay still, please. And I'll grab the bite and I'll cast Cure Wounds at level 1
All right.
for 8.
Nice. That's about as much as the dog bite did. She looks at her wound as the pain slowly eases and the gnarly fang bite marks begin to seal up, and then the faint scar tissue fades, and it's as if nothing had happened other than the wet blood still sort of remaining on her skin and hide.
I kind of smile down. See? Nothing at all happened. Now, Raziel, shoo that beast away. Simply stumbled into our camp. And I kind of look over at Sunny and the rest of the, Twig and the rest of the group and I give them kind of a subtle wink. Or at least I attempt to.
The dog is still sitting. I just hold it steady. But I stare at this this woman. Kind of give her the eye move that hand again. I don't wanna
Everyone
say
just
anything.
relax. I understand. You want something from us, or you don't want us here. We don't want to be here. We've done our business already. Now, what can we do for you, child? And I kind of just calmly try to talk her down.
I don't know how you have them, or it. Those stones, those are ancient. Where did you get it?
Oh, well, and I kind of motion for Twig to join me. My friend here he's ancient in his own way. I kind of let Twig kind of take over, because I assume they can communicate.
She looks at the skinny wood elf looking creature. You have the stones. Those do not belong to you. Child of the outside. These are not your woods, these are our woods. And they are our ladies. Not all of our people keep them, but mine and my do. Those stones could heal so many sick. They could save so many dead.
Twig at first has a confused look on his face, a little confused, but then a stern visage crosses its face as you begin to hear that low rumble in his voice as he articulates himself in Druidic. And he says to her, in the natural way, the death are beyond saving. The land belongs to no one. I do not. The hearts, they're not mine. I only carry them, and it is the will of the land that I do so. And that's all he has to say.
The land and its will. You say no one owns this place. You are so wrong. Death here isn't. It is not a rest. It is not an escape. It is a torment. Our people, our spirits, if they die proper, they can wander the old growth. Even that leaves us weak to those who predator the weakened wills of the dead. But if we don't wander the old woods, we're lost to something even greater. The Dark Ones. They own this land now. They took it from the ladies. And that is all we have left of them. The will of this land is dark and cruel and tainted because of them. You will fall to them like all the others, and the stones will be lost. You don't understand.
Kind of ask, I approach her again. Why? Answer me this. Why? Why is this land poisoned? Why must you wander? Why must the souls not be allowed to be free?
She looks to Talandra. She's still holding her shoulder almost instinctively, almost as if she can't believe that pain is already gone. And she thinks for a moment. You see, as if she's trying to collect thoughts. It wasn't always like this. When the ladies were here, it was not paradise, but it was normal, natural. Death was an end, but it was a beginning at the same. But then they came. The wizards. They brought something with them and locked it away in the mountains. And it made the ladies sick. It made the land sick. The ladies tried. They brought their dragon, and he brought his heroes. But in time, even they fell. If the dark couldn't escape, it found ways to bring things here. That usurper, that dread vampire who came here 500 years ago, he did this. The ladies were already weak because of the taint, but he made it so much worse. And he knows of you, but he does not know of the stones. He cannot know of the stones.
You won't. I've been listening intently to her story. Our intention with all of these items, the reason my friend here carries these stones, the reason I carry this amulet, and I kind of show her the amulet of Ravenkind, the reason my compatriot here carries that sword, these items have come into our charge because we intend to end the Dreadlord's hold on this land. These stones in your hands may save 1,000, even maybe 10,000. But in our hands, we could put an end to his curse. But we need every bit of power that this land can offer us. And that is why we cannot simply just give away what we have worked so hard, what we have lost loved ones for. You'll just have to trust that if you be patient, this land will be healed. Just like your arm. And I kind of smile at her.
She looks down at her arm. And then she looks past you and past the campsite to the cairn stones that bury the dragon. Something seems to catch her eye. She looks past the stones. If you follow her gaze, you can see that bear who had been bothering you in the woods, watching over your camp, chased Sunny here and seemingly kept you all together. And her eyes go wide, and she looks at your party. You...
Friend of yours?
She is a guardian. She has not been with us long. But if she trusts you, and if what you say is true, I saw what you did. I saw what you did with the stone and the tree. I need you to understand. The stone is lost, so is she now. So are all of them. They are one. Split into three, but they are one. And if one part is not of the whole, there's nothing. That stone is lost. The ladies... I don't know. I don't know what would happen. You have this land's end and rest with you. The portion of them that control how we all leave this place. Treat it well. It's hard to call it fate, but I need you to understand. You carry the end of all things, a dread and a hope. Do you understand me?
I do. And sometimes an end is what is needed, regardless if it is good or bad. This place is a vile, poisonous wound, and if we cannot heal it, sometimes it must be incised. Isn't either result beneficial? We can hope for one, but in the end, no more souls suffer here. Take respite in that.
She narrows her eyes at Talandra. You have pretty words. You sound like a crone. No offense.
I've been called worse, trust me. But no, I just intend to heal this land in whatever way possible. I give you my word and my life. Trust me, and trust us.
I have seen your kind before, priest, with your trinkets of your gods and your powers, and you mean well. But my words were meant for him, and she points to Twig. He must understand.
Twig's been paying, he's been watching her intently this whole time and listening to her words. And again, he places his hand near his heart where he's keeping the gems. And he gives kind of a solemn bow, a small, solemn bow. As he understands and accepts this responsibility that it has been made known to him from the tree as well upon receiving the gem.
Very well. I do not trust you, but I will take this chance for now. Not that I have a choice. And she rubs her shoulder still and looks behind her at the dog, who gives her that, motorcycle engine deep inside its chest. Just know, if you fall to the dark, I will find you, and I will cut those stones from wherever you have them hidden. I will not lose the ladies because you misstep into shadows. You are known by him, and so you are the focus of the dark ones in the mountains. They will not leave you alone. She picks herself up out of the mud that she's kind of been crouched and stooped in low this whole time. Seems to stand to her full height. I did not mean to disturb your rest. I meant to let you sleep soundly and sleep away with the stones. I know your battle was hard. Even some of your wounds are still fresh. No, I have little to say, and she looks down at her shoulder again. May I go? Or do you intend to take me prisoner?
Of course not. We make peace with all the people of this land. And I kind of motion for her with one arm.
She does not wait, and you watch as she full sprints to the stones, leaps, jumps off, and disappears into the night.
Well, good catch, Sonny. Those lights of yours are as beautiful as they are useful.
So he just nods his head in approval.
I'd say we head off to bed then, or shall we? And I kind of turn towards the bear. Shall we talk to the bear? I kind of like say with almost like an incredulous smile.
Well, I gestured over towards Twig. Suppose that would be you.
Twig kind of shrugs his shoulders in regards to the bear. And just sort of lets it be and just wanders towards the campfire, as he's already finished his 4-hour trance, and so he's kind of just up for the night at this point. If the bear would like to hang around and be friendly, that's up to the bear.
Those of you who have been keeping your eye on the bear, watch as it seems to specter away from the position it was sitting, almost as if slowly fading back into the mists. As if it was just there to be a reminder or known to that which was gazing over this direction. Does not seem to make a corporeal form and walk over to the campfire and hang out. It simply vanishes back away from wherever it came from.
Things in this place have a habit of doing that. I guess back to bed then. Yeah, I'll head off back to bed myself. Get that full rest.
How can we be sure she won't send others to capture these stones? Maybe they'll send an army.
Kind of wave, Sunny. Please. We can trust her. We have to start trusting the old magic of this land. Twig is our conduit to that. These people just want to protect their home. I don't feel like she had any ill intent. Besides to rob us blind.
Other than, yeah.
And so then,
I caught her breaking into Twig's den.
So, yeah, I don't think this shit will be a problem. Rest easy.
He's lucky she's still alive.
Quite so with that hellhound of yours.
I look at it. Good dog. Good dog. I'm kind of rubble its face.
It tries to remain stoic, but you can tell it's like, it's good. It's happy with itself.
I then look at it and I kind of point around with my fingers, like point eyes, fingers to eyes, and then look around and I kind of try to tell it to keep watch. And then I go back to bed.
You watch as it sort of trots and then into the shadows. Sort of back into that invisible realm from wherever it leaped and grabbed onto the intruder in the first place.
I'll say has a smile on his face as he goes to sleep.
Does everyone else go
His
to sleep?
last words are, good dog.
Twig stays up.
All right.
He's finished as much resting as he needs.
All right. The rest of the night goes without incident. Those of you who are awake now, is there something you would like to do before morning comes?
A quick question, like in character / out of character, but like, is it implied that the eyes that we were seeing watching us were like her and her people, or is it still possible that was yet another set of creatures watching us, and then she was just the one who broke into the camp? Can we tell that, or is it unknown?
It's unknown. You certainly saw movement around the rocks and someone spying on you or some things.
Right. Okay.
Although, to answer your question, you never saw more than one creature at a time, if that makes sense. If that maybe,
okay,
you know what I mean?
Could have.
It's still ambiguous, but it's very possible that she was the only one sneaking around and watching you.
Okay. All right. So now it is just me and Twig up. I'm correct. Everyone else is gone.
You can see Twig's kind of got his herbalism kit. Actually, you see he's just sort of tinkering around in the firelight with some of his ingredients and kind of trying to get a good look at them, and he takes tiny tastes of them like on the tip of his tongue, as if like trying to gauge like their medicinal properties. You see him kind of spits out little pieces.
At this point, you would also, I guess I would have probably finished my herbal companion ritual cast, yeah.
I'm sorry, I missed that you were casting that, but yeah, you could.
Yeah, I started when I sat next to the fire earlier. I'd started, but then I turned into a log, so I kind of abandoned that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just like a 10-minute cast, right? Or an
Yeah.
hour.
So as Twig, I sit with Twig as he's tinkering with his herbalism kit, and I will summon my. You see me, pull out my leather bag that I had crafted for me back in town many sessions ago.
Yeah.
And I've got my bags just as a refresher. I've got my larger leather bag with the dirt in it that I collected from Hollyver's farm, and I've got my smaller bag with the 3 segments that each have a different type of seed in them. One for mushrooms, one for nightshade, and one for muddling herbs. So this time, what will sprout will be my little nightshade companion. And he provides us with a cloud of smoke that gives us partial cover, permanent, or as long as he's near us. So
nice.
me and Twig are now enshrouded a bit as well.
This fire's gotten a bit smoky, eh? Is this not uploadable? This is a TIFF image. Oh, it is. Okay, that won't work then. Never mind. All right. Yeah, you have that. I would put a token, but apparently I need to work on that still. My bad. I thought I made it the right image, but I did not. Okay. So your smoky friend is out. That gives obscuring smoke cloud in a 10-foot radius. Everyone else went to sleep, yeah? Is there anything else you guys would like to do?
Not before the morning? Not before waking up?
Yeah, I was talking to the people who are awake.
Oh, okay.
As Twig comes kind of like on the periphery of his vision, he realizes he's enveloped in a cloud of smoke, and he realizes Sunny is there and just shrugs his shoulders and figures it makes sense.
All right.
And he continues to tinker with his herbalism kit, and I think he's going to attempt to use some of his ingredients to make some poison resistance potions. I think I can do that. I have it listed in my list of known recipes.
Okay.
No, we hadn't really settled on exactly how to handle herbalism.
Yeah, because I'm not really looking at trying to put a whole new system into the game. So we're kind of just I know that we keep going back and forth, and that's kind of why I kind of don't really want to put a whole new system in the game, is because I don't want to spend time balancing and learning whatever some home. It's a lot. So it's if you want to
I figured I'd just take I have apparently in my inventory I have 2 cast tongue, 2 hag fingers, and 2 red.
Yes, I know, because we were doing that.
So can I just take one of each of them, put them into my mortar or pestle, and attempt to make some resistance to poison?
Yes, and on success you will receive a potion that once drunk for the next hour you have advantage against saves against poison effects.
Yep, that's basically all I'm looking for.
Okay, cool.
Take up Twig's time.
There's no quick reference sheet for me to go look up. The thing that you gave me is a PDF that I would have to go through and write down everything from, and then learn the ingredients for, and then somehow figure out how to feed those to your character so that you could do special herbalism stuff. When the raw alchemy lets you make 6 special things, which are all really good, but that's all alchemy is for in D&D, is alchemist fire, acid flasks, holy water, and a couple other things, an antitoxin, I think, and I think one other thing.
Okay, yeah, I just looked up 5e potions that herbalism kits should be able to make. I was okay.
Yeah, I think you can do a healing potion, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I have a healing potion, and then I can do resistance potions.
Yeah.
And that's basically it.
Yeah, okay. I know that we had some other herbalism stuff. I just don't know how to balance it properly. And I to be honest, I don't have the wherewithal to do that on top of everything else.
I know. I know typically we just do it's usually just a money's worth amount of general herbalism ingredients.
Yeah, and that's how the game is supposed to be played, is everything comes down to gold. It's how much gold's worth of herbs did I gather? cool, I can make 500 golds worth of potions then.
Yeah, that's what I figured. I'll just take basically half of what I have and just try to mix it into a potion.
Yeah.
That's definitely overkill anyway.
I'm not trying to discourage it. I really love the roleplay. I just don't know how to make a game like mechanic out of it.
I know. That's why I figured we'll just go with like the gold cost probably going
Okay.
forward.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate your understanding on that.
But for now, I'm just gonna mix up what I do have listed on my inventory.
Yes.
Let's take half of that shit, and I will attempt to make some potions.
Yeah.
So I roll my.
Good question.
I roll my herbalism kit, which is basically it's gonna be my.
It's like a proficiency
Oh.
plus like your some sort of skill modifier, I thought.
Can I offer assistance to give him an advantage on one of those rolls?
You know what?
So I have some decent herbalism knowledge myself.
It depends. Twig, do you want his assistance?
Twig would totally be open to assistance from Sunny, who definitely knows his herbs.
I was gonna say
Right.
only because it's sunny. Honestly.
So
so-
you can actually see Twig is actually employing a method where he's actually taking slices of his mushrooms. He's put them in slices on a spear, and he's like crisping them over the fire for easier powdering.
Oh,
That's-
nice. That's smart. Okay. I like that.
All
I'm
right,
sure
so
you have
as
some tips and tricks.
so as you're doing that, you see the cloud of smoke approach, and my little acorn buddy, acorn is. I'll clarify for you guys later, like I'll try to specify like which of the three, but basically in the art you can see there's the one on my hat that's like little mushroom buddy, and there's the acorn buddy that's like more towards
the
center, and then
book,
down my
yeah.
feet is the tall, more sinister looking one, and that's the one I haven't yet summoned. So I'll wait to reveal what that one does until I summon.
So you got good old
But-
Acorn Buddy with you.
Acorn buddy is the one that's hanging out with us now, just for the sake of the
Okay.
theater of the mind.
Thank you. I appreciate
and
Twig, you
Sunny
see
and-
Twig gives like a polite and sincere nod of greeting to Acorn.
that.
Acorn buddy jumps up, spreads his arms, and does a little twirl as well. And I place my hand on your shoulder, and then can't sign to you, and can't. Maybe I can help.
Twig is certain that he can help. Accepts his aid.
Okay. Well then, Twig, your process is a survival check at an advantage.
Well, damn. Okay, this is gonna go well then.
Yep. Because you understand how to make these things, not because you are studious. It's simply because you understand how elements of nature work together. Harmonious things.
All right. So Twig rolls a 25 on his survival check.
Okay. With a 25, you are not only able to create one, but you understand that some of these shrooms are far more potent than you had initially thought. And once you've ground this all down, the concoction in a single potion would actually be far too powerful and be detrimental. So you are able to produce 2 poison resistance flasks.
All right. Task well done. Twig gives a satisfactory nod as he corks the second one.
Okay. You are all roused by the smell of roasting shrooms as the morning comes through. And you're all awakened by the very muddled, sort of gray light that is Barovia's day.
Is it still raining?
It is still drizzling.
Okay.
It seems to have never ceased. It's endless drizzle. Sometimes it gets a little heavier and it turns into real rain, and then it goes back to drizzle.
All right.
Well, then you see Calliope slowly breaking down camp as she rouses. Put something on the fire for herself if anyone wants to partake.
I also rouse and attempt to do morning prayers. It's the weight of the events of last night now double as heavy after sleep. And,
Sunny will put on a pot. Oh, sorry. Okay, finish.
No, go ahead.
I just want to I'm just adding more ambiance. Sunny will put on a pot of some invigorating herbs to brew into a bit of a tea for the morning.
All
Well,
right.
at least We're all feeling a little better, I hope. I kind of look around to the group.
Yeah, another glorious day in Barovia. Sarcastically.
You all
Agreed.
receive your long rest. Everyone. So, spells reset, HP is full again.
And I will spend the time needed to prepare new spells. New smells.
It's so smelly in here.
But what I mean by that, actually meant by that was, you've been with Talandra long enough to where like her morning rituals you've seen enough times now, but these ones are a little different. These spells that I'm taking on now, when I kind of address the group, I've never used some of these abilities before, so I hope you can bear with me while we try.
Sunny's ears perk up with interest. New spells, you say? I'm always keen on observing and learning new spells. If only Isla were here, she'd be right with me.
Yes, if only we're here. And Talandra I just walk away. But before I do, to kind of help out with the breakfast process, well, actually, no, I want to save this spell slot, so I'll hold off. So I'll just help Calliope kind of manage the camp and pack up whatever's needed.
All right. You all enjoy a nice breakfast and some of the tea that Sunny had put on the fire, and before long the camp is broken down, and everyone is packed up and ready to continue your adventure. The realm around you seems closed off, and your best path, at least on foot, is back through the woods to the north. You could trek to the east, but that would bring you to the swamps of Berez, and past that, Mount Gacchus. Through the woods would bring you back to the winery, and back to the road that would take you to Argynvost Holt, or the city of Vallaki. Or that wizard's tower if you wanted to head back there. The road also would continue west and north, which is a road you have never taken, and you remember there was a signage that read Town of Kresk. And that's a road not taken yet. And as you sort of picture all the different ways to go, is your consensus still back through the woods?
Well, at this point, Sunny would share with the group what he heard the night before, with the howling back from the northeast and the eyes prying around the campsite, and throw that out on the table as far as whether we want to investigate that.
The howling, I'm not so sure about, but I'm sure those prying eyes are that of our sly companion last night, simply scouting out an opportune time to sneak in. But I believe our mission is to head to Argynvost Holt. Somehow meet up with the remnants of that group and see if they can offer aid to us. Otherwise, think back to Vallaki.
I agree. But if we do hear it again, the howling, perhaps we should start to worry.
I'm gonna ask Richard. Was it Richard? There was a mention of something resting within the mountain. Did anyone else catch that? That was perplexing. That's something I haven't heard before.
Within Mount Gracchus.
I've heard of Strahd's corruption, of his pillaging of the land, but I haven't heard of some great darkness in the mountain. This also could mean that is an option. But that is heading into something we know nothing about. I say heading back to civilization, resupplying, and figuring out the next move from there. How far was that town? What was it called again?
You remember in your head Krezk. Krezk.
And in relation to that, if I'm looking at the map, is that closer? Would that be the closest bit of civilization?
Technically,
than
it would lie closer to you currently than Vallaki.
or Argynwall Salt?
They're about the same. They'd be about the same distance.
Okay.
Because you would have to head north to avoid a bunch of woods and then take the road back south to Argynwall.
Maybe we head to this town. Krezk.
Krezk. Like, sounds like
Krezk.
Slavic as fuck. Yeah.
Yeah. Modern Call of Duty stuff.
50,000 people used to live in Krezk. Now it's a ghost town.
We're going to Kreznikorp. Daisy shit.
Calliope. Sorry to interrupt, but Calliope,
No,
during the mention of dark things in the mountain, names begin to echo back through your head. Names that were forced into your head while standing within that star-filled chamber in that wizard tower. Thagar, Asgorath, Chizar, Dindar, Arashni, Vampira, Ublaxalb, Tarakamedes. Like dark shapes slithering in your head, you feel the names squirming at the mention of Mount Gagis and what's held there.
You usually see Calliope just smiling and getting about her way, but as soon as the Dark Mountains were mentioned, I'm not as fast as I was putting away a tent. I'm a little distracted, and I look towards that mountain. So what is the story with this place? Anyone have any idea what's on this map? I know, it's not something that we're going to go do. We really should go to Krezk or Vallaki, but anyone knows anything about Krezk?
I love that. Krezk?
But does anyone know about this portion of the map?
Sounds like a Russian brand of toothpaste.
I love it.
Is it possible? Is it possible that I may have encountered the name of this mountain or the secret of this mountain during my studies, or is this of this realm not at all documented?
Roll me an Arcana check. That's a great question.
I like to help, finish packing up so we can get a roll on.
Okay. Everything is packed up. You guys are kind of discussing which direction you want. You're breaking things down, putting them away. You're nearing where you're like ready to go. And Sunny and people are, as you're thinking back. No, unfortunately, Mount Gagis doesn't ring any bells. Wizards get up to all sorts of strange things, especially those who can imprison dark things in mountains. You have no recollection of anything like this.
Regardless of where we head next, I believe this town should be our first destination. Do you all not agree? We could resupply, maybe rest somewhere where there's no rain. And then think about our next move over a hot meal. Good.
Sunny shakes his head in agreement and starts to pour cups of tea. But I speak out. I am very curious about that mountain. And at some point, I intend to investigate it, with or without the rest of you.
You see Calliope look over and try to get Sunny's eye with a bit of a nod in agreement.
Yes, I do believe that the mountain has now become a much bigger part of our story and will need to be investigated, but there's no use sprinting there now, just like sprinting to the gate of Strahd's castle. Let us get a clear head and then proceed further. Let's head to Krezk.
Krezk.
And You feel a warmth come towards your hands as you're handed a cup of hot, invigorating brew from Sunny, and the rain patters out the last bits of the campfire.
Forget, and I feel invigorated.
Invigorated, and everyone else as well, and drinketh of the pot.
Everyone else is invigorated.
They are. In
Invigorated,
fact,
baby.
everyone is so
Invigoration button.
invigorated by this tea, everyone gets 5 temporary HP points.
I'm
It's so
invigorated.
it's like,
Yep.
it's like chewing
It's-
5 gum.
Yeah, yeah. That's what it feels like to chew 5. Never mind.
Tea leaves.
Five gum if you want to sponsor our podcast.
Anyway,
here,
you see where Mortal Arrogance is down here? 5 gum would fit really nice right there, actually. Oh,
5.
fuck. All right. So, having decided to head back through the woods and the old growth, the party gathers themselves, along with the large claw of Argynvoss, sort of like tucked into like a side saddle strapped. Because it's so big, honestly, it's like along the side of Duchess. No, what's her name? Oh my god, I'm the worst. What's the horse's name? Damsel. Damsel.
Damsel.
I was like, Lady, Duchess, Damsel. That's what it was. I'm the worst. It's been so
Damsel and
long.
Rock.
I know.
I'm almost imagining like in The Witcher when you get like the trophies off the animal and it like dangles off the side
That's,
of
oh my god, I was picturing that in my head and I didn't even know. Yes, thank you, Jeff. That's exactly what I was referencing. I didn't even know it.
Dangling
Yes.
off Damsel
Yeah.
trophy.
Exactly. There's a big dragon's talon dangling off the side saddle of Damsel, like The Witcher.
Rock here, or is Rock still
Rock is
still another part?
Rock is here. No, Rock
Yeah, he
is
got
here.
he
No,
got
no, no.
guided
He's here too. Okay,
Yeah,
yes.
Damsel
Rock is
guided
also
him
here. Oh man, I forgot I'm the worst dungeon master. I'm sorry, everybody. No.
No, I remember that because I was like, damn, Damsel just like guided her buddy through the forest.
Yeah. Damsel. Yes, Damsel arrived along. That's when you first saw the bear. Is when Damsel and Rocky showed up with
'Cause that's how
with the suit of armor and the broken axe because it had like fought its way through the woods. Yes. Okay. So, Rocky, Damsel, you all reach the edge of the woods where the apparition of that white bear is waiting for you. And pulling herself up off her haunches, she just sort of turns, looks back over her shoulder at you, and then begins to walk into the woods.
I follow her in.
All right. The party follows that apparition of the bear into the woods, and you lose sight of the hill behind you, now absent one huge white tree. The stones sort of toppled over and built into a huge grave site, and the writhing tentacles burned to ash and left as soot, perhaps to fertilize the tree or the hilltop. Maybe with enough sunlight, it'll have some flowers grow on top of Argynvoss' grave. But for now, you lose sight of the hill and the giant grave site of the dragon.
Kind of feel Isla's loss, like really strong, as we walk away and lose sight. Like that final little piece of her is gone.
All right. You guys step into the mists of the old growth, and we'll take a break. We'll come back in a little bit.
Let's go.
Let's go, dude. We'll come back at 6. We'll take like a nice 19, 20-minute break.
Nice.
Sound.
Feels so good to be back in the skin of these characters.
Nice, dude. Okay. Following the bear through the woods, it's not long before you start to smell smoke. And you see it in the distance, beginning to trail up. Though you can't see its source yet, you're fairly certain this spirit bear is leading you to something. And before long, the bear does arrive somewhere within the woods. First thing you see is the trees finally break, just a little, revealing a clearing. Though it looks old, it seems there's civilization here at one point in time, as despite its derelict shape, a stone building with a slate-tiled roof stands dilapidated and broken, with a large tree jutting from its roof. You can see through its open double doors that it was a small shrine at one point, with a statue, stone about twice the size of a regular human, but it obviously depicts a woman, though the details are faded and shrouded in darkness within the building. You can see the tree has grown in such a way where it's wrapped itself around the stone statue. Further still, through the opening path in the clearing, you can see a very small campfire and a single tent with another lean-to, sort of held over what appears to be like a stash of gear. You also see like a small swamp or a pond, but it's hard to make out through a bunch of trees and bushes and bramble in the center of the map. The bear sort of stops and sits on her haunches and gazes towards the campfire and then looks back towards you, the party.
Well, seems like we are not the first ones to find this place, as I say quietly, kind of nodding towards the campfire. Raziel, would you be willing to quietly take a look?
Almost in a way ahead of you. I look down at my doggy. And I give it a nod forward. And I have it kind of inspect.
Well, they are going. Let's tread lightly, my friends. Don't want us to run into another fight so soon. I kind of go to check out this shrine, whilst also kind of hiding by it as well, waiting for Raziel to report in.
Quietly follow Erebus.
Oedipus. He's sniffing at the ground and just like keeping low, just like slowly making his way towards that camp. He stops for a moment to just like sniff the shit out of this log because it's really funky and like rotted and old and it's got mushrooms all over it. And then he kind of breaks away and then keeps going. He stops,
Low
sniffs the
as
air,
well.
and begins to growl. Talandra, you kind of see inside of that small shrine building. The statue is crumbled and most of the detail has been worn away with time, and the interior of the building is just filled with the rubble from the roof falling in and a lot of the leaves and rot from just things that have fallen inside and just been swept around by the wind. Roll me investigation. Well, roll me a perception check. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Actually, roll a stone cutting intelligence history check against this.
Sure. Tell me what you're trying to determine.
I'm trying to determine the what type of craftsmanship is it? Like, who crafted? Does this look elven? Does this look human? Does this look other than that? And then how old is it? That kind of stuff. And then possibly at the end of it, who is it and what deity or what? But that would be a stretch.
Okay. And you want to roll knowledge, nature?
It's stone cutting. It's a dwarven racial.
Yeah.
So whenever I make an intelligence history check related to the origin of stonework,
okay, it's a history check. Okay.
Yes.
Cool. That makes sense. Yeah, by all means.
So So I'm doubling my proficiency with this. So it's +6.
Okay. Okay,
12.
so it's an okay. A 12 certainly doesn't look dwarven. You've seen elven architecture, and it changes. It doesn't change. Elves keep everything the same. Their generations last forever. Innovation doesn't happen. This isn't elven. This isn't dwarven.
Okay.
Perhaps it's a building made by some of the old denizens of the valley. The statue
That's it.
inside looks Fey-like, but it's hard to tell. It's more in the face, I suppose, but it seems to be left more purposefully ambiguous. Like the subject of the statue is more implied rather than captured in perfect, accurate likeness.
Alrighty.
However, you notice within the stone of the statue, it's been carved in such a way where a hollow was left in the base of it and then covered.
Okay.
You can tell this now by how the roots of the tree have grown through it, cracking open a portion of this hollow inside and sort of digging themselves in, but just ever so slightly, giving the hint that there's some sort of cavity inside the statue's base.
Okay. I turn to Twig. Twig, would you mind helping me with this? I believe that your expertise is better than mine. I'd probably end up breaking it. I believe there's a space in here underneath. Do you see it? Between all these vines and brambles.
So Twig is kind of investigating this statue with you now. I think he begins to understand that you're curious about this hollow within this weird stone effigy that he's still trying to get a grasp on really what the purpose of these things is.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everybody's health bar is wrong. Everybody should have their max HP +5 right now. I'll go through it. Sorry, keep role playing.
So Twig begins to kind of try to perceive what he may be able to do.
You also recognize there is some sort of hollow space in the basin of the statue. Though it's hidden still, you recognize it's certainly there.
But is there anything you can do to move these vines aside so we can get inside? I'm kind of just whispering.
I think he's talking to you, Twig.
Yeah, sorry, I'm reviewing what I'm capable of.
Oh, okay. All right. While Kyle is, while Twig is reviewing, what's everybody else doing?
Richard is fumbling kind of in the dark towards lights that he can see.
It's daylight at the moment, isn't it? Can you guys not see?
Not for me.
Weird.
There are dark spots.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
It's
he's
dark.
human.
Yeah.
He's human. He doesn't have dark vision.
Yeah, I can't see anything either. It's just
Oh.
You, me, Richard, you and me.
Okay. On my player view, everyone can see just fine. That's okay. Lighting is terrible. I'm gonna just turn it off. Who fucking cares? Dynamic lighting's stupid. There you go.
All right.
Cool. Now everybody can see like everybody else.
Yeah.
And know what I'm talking about. My bad.
Okay, yeah. So Richard's standing by. He's ready for action.
Out of curiosity, just because I still don't have the Druidic Stones in my inventory. They have a spell list on them, correct?
What has a spell list? What are you talking about?
The Druidic Stones that Twig is carrying, the one that he specifically got from the vineyard.
Yeah, you should have the item, right? Do you not have it?
I do not have that item in my inventory. I do not.
Oh, okay. Shit, I thought we made that like months ago. Okay. Well, shit, where did we write all that information at? Is it in campaign notes? I wonder if I messaged it to you. Let's
Let me check.
see. Emerald Blade? No, this isn't it, right? Campaign notes? Nope. Weird. Okay.
Okay, no, I think I found it. The Stone of the Huntress.
Yes. That's it.
Okay. Okay, this is what I was looking for this because I knew it had some stuff that I specifically don't have ready because I knew the stone was capable of it. Okay. So, Twig will approach the plant and he will grasp the Stone of the Huntress and remove it from where he has hidden within his garment. He'll take it and he'll whisper a few words of druidic power to the stone. Like a low, kind of high-pitched rumble that he uses to speak in Druidic. And he casts Speak with Plants upon himself.
Oh, the little wisps start gathering around the stone when you pull it out. And you cast Speak with Plants. Very well. Which plant do you attempt to converse with?
So I'm going to attempt to converse with the plant that has its roots, this tree, has its roots kind of growing through the statue, sort of holding it together to some degree, it seems.
What do you say to the plant?
First, I greet the plant and I attempt to see if it has enough presence, if it has enough impetus to actually animate itself, as that requires much of a plant to do.
So what do you say to the plant?
I greet it and I ask it if I beseech it to attempt to move its roots.
I can move, but it will take some years. And I don't think you have the time.
Twig thanks the plant for the moment, briefest flash of time for a plant. And of course, naturally, he shrugs it to say, the plant is feeling too lazy to move that fast.
I'm not lazy. Look how I reach through this roof. I'm bigger than you.
It says defiantly.
Twig flashes some of his own planty essence enough for the plant maybe to at least understand or at least sense the presence of another tree-like entity. And then Twig kind of does a short little skip and a hop as if to say that being a plant doesn't mean you can't be nimble, and he tosses the tree back.
Stop being ableist.
Jesus Christ.
I'm funny.
I don't have fucking legs, asshole.
Perfect. Twig just like shrugs his shoulders and then just kind of like places a hand meaningfully on Talandra's hammer as if to say, if you want to know what's in there, be my guest.
Without even being able to speak to plants, I don't really like the way that Twig phrased that, so I go, I'll pass. Maybe after Raziel reports in. But I thank you.
Okay.
So I'll deduct 3 charges from my
You're like,
interest,
fucking
and I guess just
deduct
put my-
that from my stone. Calliope and Sunny, what are you guys doing? Calliope first. Sorry, I'll do Calliope first. It's not fair to ask both at the same time.
Well, since it was what I thought was dark, I had just been
My
crouching.
bad.
It's okay. Kind of peering over, towering over Talandra, and looking into the little house to look at the statue and see if I could glean anything as well.
Hmm. Well, roll me a perception check, if you wouldn't mind. As you peer into the dark of the shrine. Okay. Despite the daylight in the rest of the space, it's kind of hard to see inside, but you see the statue, and you see the tree wrapped around it, and the roots of the tree sort of digging into the pedestal. As far as you can tell, there's not much else to see in there. This is an old, broken down shrine to some forgotten patron or deity. Beyond it, you hear frogs, probably hanging around this pond, the fallen log in it. But otherwise, the clearing seems, as it is. Is there anything else you want to do?
No, I want to wait until Raz reports back.
Oh, okay. Sonny, what are you doing?
Sunny, this is still very mentally worn and finding trouble, motivating. So I would just be role playing that Sunny is, of course, curious as Twig is talking to a plant, but he's just listening and waiting patiently for Twig to share whatever knowledge he has learned, and perhaps just meditating a bit to gain some mental fortitude so that he's at 100% going forward. I don't think that he's interested in contributing as far as like rolling for knowledge checks or anything right now. I don't think that Sunny has the motivation.
Okay.
So he's hanging back. He's of course smoking an herbal cigarette, and he's curiously looking on, but still pretty depressed. He feels very responsible for the fact that Strahd was going to leave, and then Sunny convinced Strahd to stay, and that resulted in Isla's death.
That's
Having a lot of trouble coping with that.
all right. Raziel plus Erebus, you have reached the edge of this campsite, and it looks very recently habitated. The gear of someone is still beneath an oilcloth stamped or tied to a boulder, seemingly to keep the gear dry. A camp with a bedroll is still here, and even a hand axe is still embedded in a nearby stump used to chop wood at some point in time.
Right. Raziel and Erebus are going to very quietly approach, and I'm going to sit, kind of kneel down, and investigate everything, thoroughly look through things, kind of almost going into like Witcher mode. And I'm gonna look at shit, try to see if I can see any tracks, maybe smell the wood, see how recent this went out. Check the clothes, the tent, bedroll.
Hannah, are you here?
Yep.
You ready?
For what?
Oh, shit.
Alrighty. Esmeralda, someone is digging around your camp with a strange, shadowy dog as you watch from the edge of your campsite, well hidden and disguised. What would you like to do?
Can she see like the rest of the party, or is she just aware of Raz? Like, She just has eyes on him right now.
She's aware of the rest of the party. She can't see where they are now because they've stepped behind the thick foliage, but she knows the general direction.
Okay. Has the dog indicated that it's aware of her, like, at all?
Not yet. It seemed to sniff the air and let off a growl as if it knew someone was here, but it doesn't seem to have caught on to any track or anything yet.
She'll draw her little crossbow, but it won't be bolted, like, clearly so. And just sort of come out of the foliage directly behind Raziel. I suggest you put it all down now.
Raziel will slowly turn to the direction of the voice
Do a backflip.
He
and
flips.
pull out his blade.
Can I pull out my gun?
Now.
Who are you?
You are a guest at my camp. You do not get to ask the questions. Sit. And she sort of like digs the front of the crossbow into his side, and it's sort of menacing, but it's not as, it doesn't have as much intent as it could. Like, it's clear she's not going to shoot him. She's just pissed off at him.
I prefer to stand, thank you. And I grip my sword, and I'm tensed in the sense that if she does try to do anything, we're going together.
Going to stab her.
I would. Wait, what the heck happened? Why are all my slots full? That's weird. I would like to cast suggestion on this unknown character.
I think you're too far away and can't see. But if you want to
Where?
go over
Where?
there and do that, I suppose you could give it a shot.
Oh, I see now. I was zoomed in too far. I didn't
Yeah.
realize. Okay, well, as they're having that conversation, I will
Okay, hold
sneak
on.
away that direction.
Suggestion. Suggestion is something that is handled in a very strange way when it comes to PvP, because it's such like an RP forced thing sometimes, because you can just like force people to do things with it. I would say if you have something, I don't know, specific in mind, I don't know. What suggestion is kind of a tricky subject when it comes to PvP stuff. What do you
Gotcha. Well,
what
I'll
do you
let
wanna
you know.
do
My
with- yeah,
goal was
yeah.
basically just to implant something simple like he comes in peace. Talk this out.
Okay.
Something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I
it's
just
not a
wanted to
big
give
deal.
a warning before, if that makes, because suggestion can sometimes be like, I don't know, kind of used in a weird way when it comes to like roleplay stuff.
Gotcha.
When it's like a non-NPC that's being suggested to do something.
Right, that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Because then it's like, now Hannah is now at my will.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, no, like that's not fun for the people
Right.
playing. So that's why
That
I wanted
makes
to
sense.
give a little bit of warning, where it's like it's not always going to be allowed, basically.
Yeah, perfect. That makes sense.
Okay.
She's also got her eyes out, but as sort of Raz calms down, if Sunny's approaching, she's keeping eyes out for the rest of the party. I know of you and your friends. We want the same thing.
Erebus lets out a low groan, but seeing Raziel with a point in his side, he stays. Sorry, go ahead. Raz?
Very well. Put your bolt down. And I'll disarm myself.
I've heard of you, Shadowblade. 'Tis no big deal if you disarm yourself. This isn't even bolted, anyway. And she just lets the crossbow drop and glowers down at him, but with a really warm smirk. As I said, we want the same thing. Summon your friends if you must. And she stands there, sort of hand on hip, arms folded, waiting.
I look over at Erebus and nod him up to the rest of the party. Go fetch them. But I do not leave or out of my sight.
Kind of hearing Erebus's low growl, I begin to investigate near where Razel. Notice he's actually conversing. Well, it seems like our plan of stealth has failed. Come now, friends. Let's speak to this new traveler.
Erebus comes up and does like a motion, almost like a spin.
I kind of slowly approach.
You hear a heavy sigh from Calliope.
Friend?
Well, Razel, introduce us.
I believe she has stated she would rather do that herself. It is her camp, she has stated.
Well, it seems to be her camp after all.
It's not exactly a lie. You came upon my camp. It took you longer than I expected, but I did lose you. How you got through those twisted woods, that growth. Bear it no mind. You have left your mark upon this land. I don't know whether to be impressed or... Well, it's been quite bothersome for me. As I said, we share the same goal.
Well, you have me at a disadvantage, my dear. You seem to know everything about us, and yet you are a complete mystery.
Not everything. You do me far too good credit, but you don't exactly move about these parts unknown. You've left quite the trail behind you. The windmill, well, that was a particular favorite of mine. Breaking a coven. Now that is no small feat.
Wow, it seems like you've been following us for a while.
And she sort of glances over those that have assembled. Some of you are missing, it appears. Stealth is not going to get you very far. I suggest you appear. Come, come. And she talks to the bushes as if some might have sort of hidden there.
To be honest, there is a couple more, but we are short a few companions. Barovia is cruel, and has taken a few from us.
She remains sort of cold, but at the same time understanding. Yes, these mists take much more from us than we ever seem willing to give. But tarry no more. I have but 2 missions, and one of them directly coincides with yours. Can you guess what that may be?
I can only guess that one of them is to escape this place.
Oh no, I'm quite at home here. I can leave easier than you. Strahd, he must die, be it by my hand or yours. I care not, but he will not continue in this land. And in doing so, I shall hopefully accomplish my second goal. But that needn't matter so much, when the first is so similar to yours. Am I right?
Of course. I kind of look over to Raziel.
No. You still have not said your name, and yet you beg us and pray for trust upon you? Never.
I didn't ask for trust, boy. I said we have the same goal. We can trust each other, or learn to on the travels that will take us there. But ultimately, for now, becoming allies, not necessarily in trust, but in intention, that is much more important. And if my name is so important to you, it's Esme. Okay?
Esme. Wonderful to meet you. I kind of give a soft bow.
A sort of awkward curse, but it's more so that not only is it an uncomfortable movement for her, it's alien as well. I'm charmed.
I give her a stern look. Whatever.
Does this one ever smile?
Yes, you won't find all of us so outwardly trusting.
See him when he gets his justice.
We've lost a friend very recently. The wounds are still fresh. You will forgive Raziel. He's actually quite charming.
He has a way with him. Lost a friend? To death or to darkness? Or just to
both.
Strahd?
To all three, actually.
And she
What a-
sort of pales at... You mean to say that he has them?
He took her body and her life, and we watched him disappear with her into the mist. Kind of like shake a small tear out of the corner of my eye. Forgive me that, like I said, the wounds are still fresh, but you say you ally with us, that you so readily join a group of people that you say you know.
It makes me wonder, once our goals do not align, what she would do with us if we become maybe too inconvenient.
Or really
would
what her
you be-
second goal is. Once Strahd is dead, what do you intend?
I intend, well, to find my mentor. And killing Strahd may lead me right to him. Beyond Strahd, my adventures will take me to other dark corners of different planes. There are many cruelties to kill. Much darkness.
Sonny, are you still over here by the shrine?
Yeah.
All right. Roll me a perception check.
All right, you're gonna have to give me 1 second because I'm currently peeing.
All right. Well, you hear something in the woods, seemingly pushing through the brush. And then it grows louder and begins to crash and crack. And then something unnatural starts rising over the sound of lumber breaking. You hear the rattling of chains, like something's being dragged. And, although you're peeing, Sonny is not, and he peers from inside of the shrine as something huge emerges from the edge of the woods.
Well, Sonny goes ahead and scurries on back away from the direction of this sound as quickly as he can. Also,
The
calling
ground
out.
beneath your feet begins to rumble as the huge troll, overgrown and massive, instead of lumbering towards you, smashes his way through the trees, with a strange ethereal grip, snatches one of the will-o-wisps out of the air and brings it to his glowing, open maw and just devours the soul. And though you are potentially not watching, you can't help but glimpse back and see as that shallow skin on its neck begins to expand as it swallows down the soul, and you can see the lights go down and fill this bulging belly like a sack full of lights. Finished devouring the soul, it looks up towards you, and you hear that bellowing roar that you heard at 1 o'clock last night, this time directly towards you. You can feel the long hair lift off your back from the force of it as the scream makes the woods around you shudder. And everyone on the map can hear this. Those at the campsite have their conversation shattered and broken by this horrid, terrible scream. All right, I need you all to roll initiative.
Guys,
All right.
I think
Want to join us? Prove
Duh.
your worth.
Oh, there goes Richard.
Can I say
Hey,
that I
Raz.
ran like
Ooh.
farther before, or am I stuck right here?
You're stuck right there.
I rolled a 0.
I critically failed my initiative roll.
Let's see.
I same, and then I have a -1.
Remember to click on
So
your
it went to
token when you
0.
roll so that you go into the turn order, please.
Oh shit! Damn it, I didn't. Or did I?
yeah.
Oh, I did. I got lucky.
I didn't.
I didn't.
And
I don't
then-
want to re-roll mine.
To avoid some potential headache, Richard, do you have the Belt of Ogre Strength in your inventory?
I have not put that in my inventory.
So I believe since it's a regular item that you can just grab, you go to your manager inventory and
Yeah.
add it. So
Yeah.
that way, and then equip it. So that way it adds to your rolls.
Yeah.
Oh, just-
Make it easy.
what is wrong with this turn order? I can't do anything to it. Can't like take things off of it or add anything to it. What the fuck?
Well, I'll just click on myself, roll another initiative, and then you can change it to 0.
Well, that's fine for you and stuff, but I have like
Yeah.
20 fucking things on here I don't want. What the fuck? I guess I'll just do it by hand. The turn order is broken on roll 20. I can't use it. Alright. What'd everybody get? Anyone from 25 to 15, let me know. What's your number?
In
I am a 20, natural 20.
Okay. Richard is a 20. Call off, please. What's your guys' numbers?
6.
From 25 to 15, did anyone else get anything?
you got mine right, 19.
No, I did not. Thank you. Sonny,
Oh, I
19.
clicked right away, but it must have just cut out.
Okay. From 15 to 5, what's people's numbers?
Twig has a 14.
Twig is a 14. Okay.
Raziel has an 11.
Okay. Esme got a 6.
And then Calliope with a 3. And then Talandra with a 0.
0, 3. Okay, I got those all in order. That's very nice. Thank you. Okay. That puts them at... here. Okay. Sorry, this is annoying.
Take your time.
Just don't like that my tools aren't working for no reason. Okay. Awesome. Richard, you were waiting for this to happen apparently as you go first.
He grabs his halberd, calls to his armor, begins to run in the direction of the screen. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 55, 50, 55, 60, about here.
You see the form of a troll in front of you, though huge. It's probably the most massive troll you've ever seen, if you've even seen a troll. Its skin is ghostly white and looks like it's rotting off of its flesh. Its belly is bulged out and looks as though it's glowing with some sort of gross grave light. It turns towards you, seeing it run towards it, and it opens its mouth wide. And you see these horrid, flat, grinding teeth. I mean, from inside of its esophagus comes that awful amber glow. All right, that brings us to Sunny. Unless there's something you wanted to do, Richard. Like
I
a
believe that
action or something.
that takes up my entire turn having ran.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You did the 60. Okay, Sonny. You still hear the rattling of the chains. And it sounds like more creatures, huge, are still within the tree line yet to emerge.
Boy,
Yeah.
Sonny has never encountered something quite like this before in all of his travels. But him being the keen survivalist that he is, he knows what to do, and that is run. So, I'm gonna go ahead. Let me just calculate the distance here real quick. 35 is my movement speed. All right, I'm gonna go right back over there next to Calliope. Choo. I think it was there that I could go. Whatever. So I'm gonna move myself way on over here. Actually, hold on. Let me actually. Sorry, give me a sec. I want to calculate also a little bit of range with. 60 feet. I believe it still reaches. Oh, 65 feet. Okay. I move 1 square closer. And that's where I land.
You
And,
cannot shoot through this brush, by the way. It's too thick.
I can't.
No.
Okay.
That's what the lighting was for, but people couldn't see anything. Everything was black for people, so
Gotcha.
yeah.
What if
This-
what if I'm over here behind this log? Can I go up over the log and or is right there?
The swamp is difficult terrain, so you'd have to
Okay.
your movement is cut in half, but otherwise, yes, you could stand on that log. And you'd be able to see.
You know what? We're just gonna back right on up, right next to Calliope.
Okay.
And we're gonna Sonny, you see Sonny just basically come running at you like something out of like an old Scooby-Doo cartoon, like dust on his heels, like like with bulging eyes, and he comes up to you panting. Well, it seems we have company. And my sentence almost cuts off, and I look up. Who are you? Never mind. Fight with us, friend, ally. And I'm just going to. I'll say I'll hold an action that if this thing winds up getting close to me within my line of sight, that I can mind sliver it. I will. Other than that, I'll just hide back here behind this tree.
Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find which window I'm supposed to be on. Here we go. All right, lurching from the tree line next to the other one. This one's seeming to be more rotten than the other. Even its flesh has started to decay away to the point where it seems to be attaching metal bits to itself. One of its arms is severed at the elbow, and instead of the rest of its hand, a huge scythe, a sickle, is attached at its elbow, and it's used for just scything through trees, creatures, things, and it just cuts its way through the undergrowth and steps out next to the shrine. And you can see long chains attached to its back, dangling, hanging, and as it steps out from the undergrowth and sort of pulls both its shoulders forward, you can see attached to each dangling chain is a huge rusted blade. It sees no one yet. And so it lumbers up north towards the lake and the willow wisps it sees fluttering and floating around the surface of the pond. That brings us to Twig.
All right, Twig can probably hear these loud pounds. He sees Sonny coming around with his eyes bulging out of his head, and Twig becomes concerned. He runs in the direction that he hears these giant pounding footsteps from. That's 30 feet right there. And so Twig sees this horrible amalgamation of just rotted flesh and metal bits covering its body. And he's probably got you say he's covered in chains and stuff too?
Yeah, chains are just bolted into its back, and you can see at the ends of each long chain dragging behind it is a wicked curved or hooked blade.
This is Bloodborne.
One of the creature icons is Bloodborne, yeah.
Wait, actually, seriously?
Yeah. That's straight from the art book of the Bloodborne.
That's
yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
I was just simply observing that your description sounded like something from Bloodborne. I didn't even
yeah. One of the artworks, is directly from the Bloodborne art book. Yeah.
So anyway, you see a contemptuous look kind of cross Twig's face as he reaches his hands forward, and he casts heat metal on chains on one of the chains draping his body.
Nice.
And he will cast that at level 3.
All right. Describe the heat metal to me. Tell me what it does. I mean, I know what it does, but tell me what it does.
Twig focuses upon that draped chain on his body, and he focuses on like that dense metallic material that's been manufactured in heated forges of man's civilization as it's been drugged from the earth. A sort of terrestrial vengeance. He takes that metal and he heats it to the point where it begins to glow red hot. Smoke begins to emit from the decayed flesh of the troll.
Nice. All right. The troll receives 16 fire damage as the chain bound to its back begins to sear what flesh remains.
So he's going to use the last 5 feet of his movement
to get the fuck away.
Back 5 feet as he gets a better look at this.
That's fair. Okay.
Is there, out of curiosity, what's the light conditions right now? It's daytime, correct?
It's daytime, yeah. It's day, yeah.
All right, and there's no obscuring field effects at all.
Describe an obscuring field effect.
Is Twig lightly obscured right now?
Yes,
if he was going to hide behind these bushes, yes, he would be.
He doesn't have any more. He doesn't have any more movement speed to hide or to get out of sight, and he would need that cunning action to hide. So Twig will end his action or his turn there.
Okay.
Purple Pin is providing you
Oh.
with partial cover right now.
Okay, that's true. He's obscured
All
by
right.
the smoke cloud. I forgot.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't
Nice.
have Acorn Buddy out there. I forgot.
Nice. Sunny.
Acorn buddy.
All right. In that case, Twig is going to use his cunning action to hide.
Okay.
As a wood elf, he can hide even with only lightly obscured.
Nice.
So cunning.
I forgot I can do that too in the future.
Everybody can just disappear in this party.
Hells yeah. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna roll stealth.
Sounds good. Here we go. This guy will be Acorn Buddy for now. If tokens will load. They don't always like to load. There we go.
All right. I rolled a 27 on Twig's stealth.
All right. You vanish, sort of.
That last 5-foot step, Twig just steps back into the smoke fog and his form just dissipates.
Perfect. Okay. A third troll breaks through the tree line. This one in a full charge. Sprinting towards Richard. And as it runs, it moves its arm outwards, and in a big step forwards, it moves to just slap Richard across the face with a huge slap. A clawed slap. 15.
Bitch, please.
Richard takes the charging troll and just smashes down the slap with the hilt of his halberd. Angered, the troll uses its momentum fully to just throw itself mouth open towards you in an attempt to just bite down on your shoulder. 26.
Okay, that hits.
Yeah, I thought so. It sinks down with its huge teeth and just crushes and pierces for 6 damage.
Not much will deflect a 26.
Not much, it's true.
All
You
right.
you used like the momentum to knock this thing down, and it just didn't give a shit. It just like used its fall and just bit hard down onto you. However, you start to feel something odd about being bitten by this troll as its mouth begins to glow, and you feel something begin to draw on the very soul in your body. This troll doesn't feast on flesh. It feasts on souls. I need you to roll a will save.
Will.
Yes, sir.
That's not a thing.
It's not.
What's
What the fuck?
Will?
It's a
Oh.
wisdom saving throw.
No, wisdom. Yeah, I'm sorry.
All right.
My mind went to
3.5.
3.5 for a second there. I was like, it's a will, bro. Wisdom.
Will save.
It's not called will anymore. It's called a wisdom save. I'm sorry. Same fucking thing. It's just wisdom now.
William,
I'm so wise.
get out of here, Bill.
All right.
Richard, in his eternal wisdom, thinks this through. Or I'm sorry, he feels his way through. This is wisdom, not
The power of his soul is too great.
It's too great.
It's not so easily devoured by one such as this. This is true. All right.
I got 21.
Raziel, it's your turn. You don't take any damage. You make the save.
Brilliant.
Once again, look back. Now's your chance to prove your worth. Then I run forward. I'll end there. And my raven shrouded arm coalesces with the blade. And then I send out from it a bolt of chaotic energy.
Ooh.
And whirl it this one.
Are you shooting Eldritch Blast? What are you doing?
No, Chaos Bolt.
Chaos Bolt. Okay. What did you roll here? Oh, it's a... Okay, never mind. That's the AC. Okay, you didn't roll the damage yet. 14. The bolt looks like it's going to hit, and then it sort of bounces off of the creature's putrid skin and slams into the shrine, dealing surprisingly no damage as it arcs and runs its course over the stonework. Fucking Chaos Bolt. So goddamn chaotic. It doesn't hit, unfortunately.
I just stare. Menacingly at this thing. I'll see about that. And how my dog, I'm assuming, is 30 feet movement as well.
It's a shadow mask. Let me pull up its stats. Let me see. It has 40 feet of movement.
Oh.
The song's so loud.
It'll run just ahead of me.
Okay.
And I give it a signal to wait for a coordinated attack with me.
Okay. And does that end your turn, sir? Okay. The troll begins to move. Huge as it is, its head peers over the top of the shrine's roof. It places its arms, elbows on top, and it begins to climb up and stand on top of the roof. Its huge bulk threatening to cave the rest of the roof in. And instead, it takes a huge leap. Lands behind Richard. And its huge bulk leans forward over Richard. And it just goes to slap down at him with its clawed hands. 15. I don't think that hits. I think the other 15 also didn't hit, so I'll just consider that not a hit. Instead of going for a bite, it rakes with its other arm. 19. Are you muted? Am I muted?
No, I was muted. That
okay.
hits.
Alrighty. Taking the brunt of the claw, you receive 10 slash. Both of these creatures with this putrid, awful, rotten grin. But you're fairly certain there's definitely a malice behind this one, as it's... Alright. Esmeralda, or Esme, it's your turn.
Esme. This mushroomy log to over here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it, like, how tall is it? How climbable?
It's fairly climbable. It's like a nice bridge across the swamp. You'd be able to move at normal speed across it, but if you're hit on it, there's a chance you could be knocked off balance and fall into the murky water of the swamp. That's if you remain on it and get hit off. It would be like a dexterity saving throw.
I'm gonna run and hide on sort of the friendly side of the rock.
Okay.
And ready a stabbing.
All right. Roll me a stealth check as you hide behind the side of the log. If that's what you're trying to do.
Yep.
Okay, 21.
And go ahead and roll that with advantage because you're in the cloud of my guys.
True.
Also, stealth rolls get advantage in that cloud.
4. The cloud is so
Thanks.
good.
Use me with a stealthy party like this.
Hell
That's
yeah.
nice.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, I remember pass without a trace, and you use that also, so it's like +10 with advantage. God damn it!
Actually, make an entire group super stealthy.
Oh my god. True. Okay. Esme has a 24 stealth. Calliope, it's your turn. Are you with us, Calliope?
Yes, yes. Sorry, I had something I was eating. So, looking where the party is being split up, I want to have a brief moment with Talandra. So, left or right? Talandra?
I'm here.
You see, Calliope just look left and right. The half group's going one way, the others are going the other. So, left or right?
Oh boy. The shortest distance. I can't run very fast, so
Avengers moment.
I think I'm willing to take the shortest path, but also the easiest path for me. So I'm gonna be going left. Or I guess if you were facing your direction, I'm not going through the swamp.
You don't want the swamp?
No, I'm not going through the swamp.
Oh, you don't want to go through the
Dwarves
swamp to
and-
fight my Bloodborne person? But how am I supposed
Dwarves
to
and
pretend I'm
swamps don't go
Miyazaki?
together.
Bro.
I want Talandra to get some swamp sass.
Get in that swamp right now.
Inflicting poison in the swamp, that would be Miyazaki.
Your runes are in there. That's where you died. Go to the swamp with you.
Good.
It's not good, it's late.
But it's not my turn.
Yeah.
Good.
So,
Yeah.
It is Calliope's turn, yeah.
you see a soft little grin at Talandra's comment. And I'll be running along the edge to join maybe this new mysterious woman, maybe a little further, and see if I can reach.
It should be down there. And then you should be a little bigger. Okay.
And I would like to whip out one of my javelins, and I would like to take a hug.
I knew
Whip
it.
Yes, javelin
The
time!
fire
There's
Valkyrie
Calliope.
is
With the
here.
branding smites.
With a branding smite, of course. Oh my god, nice. That definitely hits. That's 10 piercing damage.
Fire the missile!
Fires the missiles. Very
Holy
nice.
branding smite.
Oh shit, fire our shit.
Fire
Fire the
our
missile.
And is this thing undead?
No.
I get.
Okay.
I mean, I was on. This is a homebrew monster, and I was on the fence about it because they're like a subtype undead, so sort of, but not really.
So okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
And so you just see Calliope, Amazon style, just come up, huck, perfect form, and zoop right into the chest of this creature.
Nice. Zoop. Beautiful. A hard puncture just straight through it, and you just see that it's like burning a hole through it still, like a napalm that just like catches and it just keeps burning.
And with that, I will just pull out my handy dandy sun sword and just get ready for the next. And hopefully, it doesn't go very fast. It doesn't move very fast.
Sun sword out. Okay. Talandra. It's your turn.
All right. Well, I'm gonna use the best of my movement, what little there is, and I'm going to move I'm gonna dash. I'm gonna go.
Just getting the sacred weapon ready just in case. Ignore that. It's not there yet.
Okay, 50. I'm gonna go 50 here,
Oh shit. Okay.
and I'm gonna take out my shield, and that's it. 'Cause
Okay.
I double moved.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I have my shield out, and I'm curled up behind it, and I have a spell hand ready to go.
All right. Richard, you watch as the bear, frantically almost, but still in like a sort of like calm, motherly way, as if like ushering children away from danger, sort of like gathers the will-o-wisps around her and makes like a run for it away from the doors.
Nice. Get out of here, little will-o-wisp. Get out of here.
Get out of here!
Run.
It's too dangerous for you here. Run!
Go. I like usher them with my hands.
Go!
Oh, little one.
All right. That brings us to Richard as you usher. Go! Go!
I usher them.
Yes. Now it's time for you to take action.
And then once they pass, I lift my halberd into, as far as I can, the sky. And I imbue it with power. I believe that's an action.
Gods.
A silver beam descends down from the clouds directly on Richard and his halberd, and the beam seems to just absorb itself into the very blade of his halberd's edge. It just takes on this bright gleam that most can see if they look towards Richard. The edge of his halberd is just like glittering, like the edge of a razor, just like drawn up and magnified.
Sacred weapon achieved.
Sacred weapon achieved. You have it.
And let's see.
I'm gonna put sacred on you. Sacred.
As an action.
Okay, so that is my action for the turn. I now have completed assembling and donning my armor since it's the next turn. And,
True. Forgot that takes a round.
It does
you.
take a round. I was taking that into account,
Thank you. Thank you. for
which
doing
is
that.
why I was.
You're like,
hold on. Let me
I gotta do the
let me check.
calculations. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
let me switch armors real quick. Okay, and then that would be the end of my turn, I believe, since that's an action, and I don't plan to step anywhere.
Okay. Pulling back its maw from your mouth, I almost imagine it got like uppercut by the pauldron to like poof, and it's like ugh, and like fell from your shoulder as like the armor assembled itself. And it just like lurches back forward with both of its hands, like attempting to like rake you open like a fucking lobster. And just 1, 2 as it attempts to rake you open. 26 and 9. So I think the first one.
One of them hits.
Yeah. Okay. 10 slashing as some of its claws manage to find purchase on you and just cut into you.
All right.
All right. Sonny, your turn.
It is I.
It is you
Norm.
amongst the smoke.
Sonny, now finally spellbroken, witnessing the gladiatorial level valor of Richard in combat, the cunning stealth of Raziel quickly moving about the battlefield, and Talandra's stout, what's the word I'm looking for? Determination. I was looking for a better word. But Sonny is roused and reminded that he need not flee, he need not fear for his life quite so severely here. And he moves back forwards. I already calculated this earlier. I move way back here.
Okay.
And I shout to my companions to close their eyes. And so if you guys would kindly
Seriously, close your eyes. The only way the magic works is if you close your eyes.
And right in the middle of the...
This when nobody's looking at me.
And I want to clarify, when it says a 30-foot cube, that means 15 feet by 15 feet, right? Not because obviously 30 by 30 would be 90 feet then. So.
I think it's like, let me see if I can draw the box. 30 by 30.
I believe that's a 30-foot sided cube. So
is like, I think I made it too big, but it's like this. It's like 6 by 6, like that.
Yes.
Oh, it is that big. It's
Yeah.
30 feet on each.
Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
90 square feet, but it's at 30.
Right?
Yeah. It's very big.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
All right, then I'll
It's-
cast it behind Richard so he gets all three of the big boys.
That's 900 square feet.
Right.
Oh, my bad.
30.
yeah.
Yeah, a little lower.
Sure.
It's the one on the bottom as well. But yeah,
Like this?
and to the if you just keep it straight up,
Okay.
like it was,
Okay. My bad.
and move it to the left, and it should be able to get all three. Or if you move it to the left,
No.
left 2, and down 1.
That would get Richard.
Yeah, Richard's closing. his
Yeah,
eyes.
but he's
closing
closing
my
his eyes.
I'm closing my eyes.
That's
I'm closing my eyes.
His eyes are closed, okay?
Real
So
tight
funny.
as I'm reaching into
Not
the air and empowering my weapon.
You know what? Yeah, that's fine. I was gonna say it doesn't need to be on the grid lines, I guess.
Right. Yeah, and we
Right.
could always angle that as more of a diamond if you needed to as well. It's fine.
I feel like we're playing fast and loose with the mechanics here, but I like it.
Give me the benefit of the doubt.
I'm with it, bro. I'm with it. I like it. I'll take it.
They're only 55 feet apart. It works.
No, your eyes are closed, and as your eyes are closed,
No, it's 25.
It does work. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
this time you see just yellow, gold almost, lights floating all around through your eyelids, but you can still tell that it's all lit up. And what I've created in the air with my hypnotic pattern this time, which I'll go ahead and roll, is a huge, massive swirl of the will-o-wisp.
Nice.
So exactly what these things we're trying to lust after
It's
is
like you
hopefully
recreated that huge swirling dome of them from that night you spent like in the old growth underneath them. That like big school that had formed above you. You like remake that now.
remember, inspired by the magic of that evening, something now into the combat.
Hell yeah. I love that.
So let's see if I can get these bastards.
All the will-o-wisps, all of them.
Nice, nice.
They begin to appear. Okay. Okay, 13 wisdom. Let's see if trolls have good wisdom. Spoiler, they don't.
They don't.
Ooh, as all of my soul-eating trolls are stunned by your fucking hypnotic pattern. You stupid bitch. Fuck you.
It's very actually similar to what Shook contributed to combat in a way.
Ah,
You know,
damn
stun that can just sort of
Yeah, dude.
mess
God
Yeah,
damn it.
as a DM as well. People who can stun can go right to hell.
Ah. It's fine.
uh,
It's
all right.
fine.
now charm, incapacitated.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it's broken.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's kind of your reward for sticking to the illusions.
Right.
They're trying to like eat the ones they catch. It's not working. Ooh.
As the party slowly opens their eyes, they would see these creatures who were previously ravenous and hungry, almost rabid, now stupefied, just looking up at these lights like moths to a flame. And Sunny standing there looking very satisfied with himself. And I shout out, Richard, Raz, Tilandra, take the front line. I have you. And that's not Sonny's voice at all, but that's what he says. And that's
All right. Well, that would bring us to this troll's turn, or no, this one's turn. But it's stunned for how long? A minute?
oh forever. Yeah, I think. Let me.
A concentration up to a minute. So you're concentrating on this, and it's a minute. So you have 10 rounds of this. So round one begins.
Let us just dick on these things.
God damn it. Okay, cool. No problem. Okay,
They deserve
but
it.
you know what this one does
Being
get?
trolls.
You watch as some of its wounds begin to heal themselves up.
Yep.
Twig, your turn.
I will take my turn. And does that troll heal, having received fire damage this past round?
It heals the piercing damage it received, but it does not heal from the fiery burned wounds. You are wise to observe that, Mr. Twig.
I was just curious. No, I thought fire like prevented all healing, but that's fine.
Oh, maybe
Christ.
it does. Hold on.
I think it actually does.
I thought it. The trait doesn't function at the if it's taken if the troll takes acid or fire, yep, you're right. It doesn't heal. Thank you, Mr. Kyle. I thought it was just the fire.
Only acid or
damage.
fire?
If it takes acid or fire, it doesn't heal. But
Okay.
you
But what
don't.
about magical
You don't
weapons?
know that. You don't know.
Okay.
You don't
okay.
know.
All right.
You don't know. Twig recognizes that the wounds attempt to close, but the fire continues to burn, reducing any tissue that attempted to rapidly regrow. So Twig, at the moment, is recognizing that fire is eating away at regenerating tissue as it attempts to close up old wounds and new wounds.
All right, Twig is emboldened by this, so using his stealthiness, he spreads about 35 feet to here. I say sprints, he just moves 35 feet. That's
Yeah.
his normal move.
Okay.
Pardon me. And he pops back out of the mist for one moment to level his modest short bow. He does so expertly, and he levels it at that large beast. And as he does so, he concentrates on his heat metal spell, and the chains on its back, across its back, begin to glow even warmer. Doesn't do extra damage, but I do use a bonus action to reheat that chain.
Okay, so it receives the fire damage on its turn, right? When it has the so it should have taken damage on its turn, right?
No, I get to use a bonus action on each of my turns to deal damage.
Oh, okay, never mind.
All right, so I'm gonna take my
I'm learning.
shot.
This music's so intense.
All right, I rolled
Shoot
a
your shot, kid.
13,
A 13.
but I get to roll with advantage because I'm hidden and the thing's stunned.
True. Sure.
All right, 18.
18 hits. Roll damage.
All right, I shall roll 2d6 as I'm level 2 rogue, so I have little bits of sneak attack. All right, I do 7 damage, and then let me roll my heat metal damage.
What is happening here? What is the 2d6 for?
Sorry, it's 1d6 for the bow, so the damage is 1d6 plus 2. I rolled a second d6 for my sneak attack.
Why didn't you just roll the never mind.
I don't know, because for some reason I was thinking it wouldn't do it.
Okay.
I just custom rolled. Sorry,
Okay.
I did 7
You're all
damage.
good. I was just confused. 7 damage, and then you do
Yeah.
the fire, the chains. The burning chain.
All right, and the burning chain does an additional 14.
Okay. That heat metal is crazy. All right. You watch as the creature is drawn away from the lights, and it seems to bring back some semblance of consciousness to what it's doing. But the fire is certainly eating away at this husk of a troll, as it seems to be like half of the tissue attached to the framework of its skeletal body, and like the chains and metal holding it together.
All right, Twig will end his turn there.
All right. That brings us to this troll's turn. Yeah, this one. All right. This one, still stupefied and having taken no damage, continues to try and reach for the lights, and just not able to get anything. Raziel, your turn. You see these 2 huge brutes just lost, reaching for the will-o'-wisps above the shrine. Tall enough and huge enough to like clamber onto the like a child leaning on a countertop, just like arms on the roof, just trying to grab onto a willow.
Is this climbable?
Yeah. In fact, it's so climbable, Richard just ran over the top of it earlier, so you can definitely get on top of
Okay.
there. Yeah.
I'm gonna get on top and flank this guy.
Oh, okay, okay. Erebus just like hopping up and...
Oh, yes. And then I'm going to go 5, 10, 15, 20. And I will raise my blade and point it at this one.
Mm.
And in Infernal, I speak a curse. I curse it with Hexblade's Curse. I wish I could somehow send this Yeah, I can. There we go. Just gives you a count of what it does. But attack rolls made against this, if I get 19 or 20, is critical, and it gives me +3 to damage whenever I hit this
Nice,
thing.
from your proficiency. Okay.
Now, I will swipe at this thing twice with my blade. And I'm going to do a coordinated strike where I go up, down, and as my slash, my dog's going to bite after my last attack.
Okay.
So I get 2. 1.
The 11 does not hit, unfortunately. The 26 does. A feign and then an upward stroke that lands true.
Do 20 damage.
Alright, 20 slashing. Nice. Why can't I click on the health of this creature? Because it's a drawing. Okay, that makes sense. 65. Okay. And Erebus goes for a bite. Let me give you his attack bonus. His bite is with a +5. And he hits with a 2d4 if he hits. Is he biting? I can do the rolling for you if you want.
Yes, he is biting.
Okay, so this is with a +5. So 15. A 15 meets beats. So he's going to go ahead and take a bite with 2d4. He does 4 piercing damage. Let me see if he gets a bonus to that. His strength is a 15, so that'd be +2. So 6 damage. 6 piercing damage along with your strike. So ultimately 26 damage. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
He's a good boy.
He's a good boy. Yes, he is. You bite that big troll.
No, I will end and I will call down to Richard. I have one flanked.
See, Erebus just tears a big chunk out of the troll's forearm. The troll lets out a bellow. And just turns to face you and the dog. Just ripped away from what it thought was a bounty. And now hungry and angry. Oh, and look at that. It's actually its turn. How lucky. Turning and facing you with anger, it just goes to sweep you off of the log with its forearm, just attempting to smash you with its claw. Raziel, for 24. I don't think your AC is...
Oh no, it does not. That hits.
Okay.
Yeah.
The claw smashes into you for 10 slashing, as the forearm just blunts you like a boom, and you just get the claws dragged across your chest.
Almost in anticipation, my eyes spark and glow, and I and burst out with fire that burns. Needs to do a dex.
Oh, okay. A dex. Go ahead and just
Did
roll
that go
that real
through?
quick. I don't see it, but oh,
There we
okay. It needs to make a 15 dex saving throw. It does not, and it takes fucking 18 fire damage. Am I reading that right?
Correct.
God damn. Hellish Rebuke. You can do that like once every long rest, right?
If I want to use both of my spell slots, I could do it twice.
Oh shit. Nice. Okay.
4d10.
Mm-hmm.
You just Hellish Rebuke, and the creature is like mid-bite as it's like smashed you with its claw, and then it's lurching forward to just like bite its huge maw down on you, and you just burst a huge flame into its face. And so when the maw continues to come down on you, you can see you've just seared all of the flesh from its cheeks and jaws, and it's just this huge skeletal mouth that's just closing down on you as it comes to clinch. And it goes to bite. Lost in the just smoke and heat and flesh, you blast the creature on its path down towards you, and it just lurches past you and smashes its face into the log instead of biting onto you. And it just rolls backwards, and you can see its eyes are just white and like molten hot in its own skull, and it's just screaming in pain. And that's the end of that troll's turn. Esme, it's your turn.
Okie dokie.
Okie dokie. It's 20 feet away.
she's hiding, can she run up to it and stab it with stealth, please?
Yes.
Okay, I will do that, please.
Okay.
With a rapier. Is 10 hit?
You have advantage since you're a swashbuckler and you're like 1v1ing him, so you can roll another one. Damn it. Neither 10 or 11 hit, unfortunately. Used to creatures with living flesh, most of the time. Esme tries to find a vital organ, something, and though her blade finds purchase in the creature, it doesn't seem to deal any lasting damage. She just pulls her rapier back out, and the creature just doesn't seem to mind.
In which case, I am gonna run away.
You would probably want to use your disengage action then.
I
your
know
bonus
that,
roll.
but that's not also right. There's the rogues have something. The swashbuckler rogue has something that if they try to attack after they've just had a melee attack against them, they don't get to attack.
Okay. You are a level
not
7
remember what-
swashbuckler now instead of a level 13 or 14 one, so it could be a little different. You might not have that yet.
No, she does.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's in the features. Fancy footwork. During your turn, if you make a melee attack against a creature, that creature can't make opportunity attacks against you for the rest of your turn.
Oh, nice. Okay. Then, yeah, you wouldn't have to do that.
So I'll use fancy footwork to essentially disengage and then go hide, please.
Okay. Where would you like to move to hide? Because you need to kind of go someplace to stealth, like in the bushes
Yeah,
or behind the log.
in the bushes, like near him still.
Okay. And you slip into the foliage. Go ahead and roll me a stealth check. 24. Damn. Another 24. You were already at 24 last round. Okay, cool. Yeah. You're fairly confident you have slipped out of this creature's sight, having sort of crept up, stabbed it, not found what you were looking for. You disappear back into the bushes, waiting for another opportune chance to strike. Is there anything else you'd like to do?
No thanks.
Okay, that brings us to Calliope. You have your sunblade out, drawn on the end of the last round after hucking your burning brand into the flesh of the creature. What would you like to do?
Well, first question would be, is this considered difficult terrain right now near the swamp?
No, I would say you just got past, the difficult terrain would be anywhere there's like the water feature. So you're good.
Alright, well then I want to run up and slash it.
All right. Run up and slash. 25 hits. You burn through the creature with your sun sword for 16 total damage.
Oops, ignore that.
You're good.
And then I'd like to use my extra attack and slash the other way.
By all means. Oh, wait, that was, damn, that was 16 radiant. You know what? It's a sword. I'll consider it slashing. You take...
Oh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
You watch... Well, I guess you don't watch. The creature moving, you catch one of its limbs, the one with the blade, and sever it completely, sending it flying. You have removed one of this troll's limbs.
Did it not have the other limb? It just had the one...
It's got 3 limbs now. It's got 2 legs and 1 regular arm. But you took off its scything arm with that 15 or 16 radiant damage, which I'm considering slashing because it functionally works like a sword. So it's going to slash.
Thank you. And for my extra attack, I don't think a 10 will hit.
No, unfortunately, a 10 does not hit.
Alright, next time. I end my turn.
Okay. Where is the thing I put? Give me one moment. There it is. Okay.
You know what?
Yeah?
My herbal companion should have been getting a turn throughout this, but
Oh, where would you
That's
like to
alright.
move him?
just like right into the heat of the fray there. But does a twig blight not have the ability to attack?
Your herbal guys can't attack, technically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay, in that case, we'll just say he's right there where I don't know. He's just buzzing around the heads of these two trolls, trying to fuck with them, basically. Two
Okay.
trolls by Richard.
Okay, so let's see. So he's like here. He doesn't
Sure.
have his falcon to fly on this time.
That's right. He
Yeah.
can't fly around.
He's
this
not
time.
flying around.
Yeah, that's fine. He'll just be there next to Richard, trying to
Okay.
provide some cover and
Okay.
distraction, draw some aggro.
Okay. That brings us to Talandra's turn.
Sorry, the dogs are yelling at me. Hello?
Hi.
Oh,
We're just waiting on you. It's your turn.
yeah. Sorry, the dogs are yelling at me.
Okay.
Okay. I look over at Raziel. Does he look wounded?
He's full health plus some.
Okay.
Here we go. I'll just set the health bars so that everybody can see them. I thought I had already done that.
No, I forgot to put that I took 10.
Oh, okay. My bad.
Let me deal that to myself.
Okay. I'm gonna move here. And I'm going to raise my hammer up and bring it down and cast Spiritual Weapon.
All right.
Yes, hammer time.
And down upon this troll.
Boom. There it is.
Okay, so roll that attack.
Yes, sir.
15.
A 15 meets. Meets it beats.
All right, for 8.
8 force
Force
damage.
damage.
All right.
And then after clobbering it, you see, I kind of screw up my face a bit, and I'm unsure of how to go about casting a spell like this, but I kind of think of Isla and the way she channeled her own magic sometimes. And I almost kind of move my hands in the same way. And I would like to cast, for the first time in this game, I want to cast Toll of the Dead.
Oh, shit.
Oh yeah!
Oh,
Ding, ding,
shit. Uh-oh.
And kind
Dark
of feeling
sided.
the vengeance seep in. And since it's already damaged, so it needs to make a wisdom 15 saving throw.
Wisdom 15
And it has
saving throw.
disadvantage on
Boom,
because
boom.
of the lights.
It does not get it.
All right, it takes 2d12,
2d12. Go ahead and roll that.
but it rolled like shit.
9.
So another 9 damage as these soft chimes begin to ring, and then they kind of echo and echo, but then they lose their chime and they begin to sound almost like the bone chimes of the hags.
You can see inside of that tight, taut, old gut, the spirits grow excited at the tolling of the death bell. Like a hornet's nest, it just starts to get tumultuous in there, and you can tell it's just burning radiant hot inside of the troll. And it just begins to ooze and pop and grow sores on its stomach and just begin to rot as the death inside it starts to just turn in on itself. And instead of being able to just feed off of the souls are just eating it from the inside. It just
And
takes 9 necrotic.
I feel I expect to feel tainted or dirty. But as I kind of release my hand from the spell, it doesn't feel good, but it's, I don't know. I don't feel immediately like shunned by Ilmater by using this type of magic. And it's curious. It's a curious feeling. But I will end my turn.
All right. Okay. All right. We've been playing for 4 hours and 15 minutes. So we're going to pick this up next week.
I'm kind of tired.
Hell yeah. You
You can
stunned.
see that Sunny react to Landra, to you using that spell. A hand comes up to his mouth and a bit of a gasp, realizing what you've done, and sensing an energy much, much darker than that which has ever come from you before. Looking at you a bit side-eyed, and just wondering what might be going on in that brain of yours.
All right.
We'll figure it out next week.
I love it.
Right.
Thanks, everybody.
That's the morning.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, I was really happy to be back in these characters.
It's good to get back into it.
Yeah. Really good sesh.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.